Chapter 209. Fong Ping and the others dodged the boulders one by one. Those that they could not avoid were forcefully smashed. Soon, they arrived at the village entrance. The next moment, a cold roar came from the village. Kill! Dozens of people rushed out of the village with the roar. These people were like mad demons. Their strength was average, and there were even ordinary people among them. However, they rushed at Fong Ping and the others as if they did not care about their lives. Fong Ping even saw some old people, crazy old people with red eyes. Seeing this, many people's weapons stopped in their hands. Gu Xiong punched one person away and roared, "Kill!" As if awakened from a dream, everyone fought back their trembling and attacked, killing the innocent, even the old, the weak, women, and children. This is the so-called martial artist. Ridiculous! Someone in the village said loudly in a cold tone, "These are the guardians who say they want to protect Earth and humanity. A bunch of old people, weak and powerless. They've never killed or set fire to anyone, but now they're being slaughtered by you. Is this your benevolence? Hypocrites!" There are still 64 ordinary people in the village, 12 people above 60 years old, and 6 children under 10 years old. I'd like to see how many you can kill. After saying that, a few confused children appeared in the crowd that rushed out of the village. Fong Ping and the others stopped suddenly. Gu Xiong's expression was solemn. He suddenly roared, "Retreat!" The next moment, no one said anything. The 3 teams walked faster than they rushed, disappearing in front of the village entrance in an instant. Outside the village, at the temporary camp, everyone fell into silence again. A deathly silence. Zhao Yang punched the ground hard and said through gritted teeth, "Bastards!" Yu Xianghua rubbed his forehead and said tiredly, "What do we do now? Do we kill or not?" Everyone fell silent. Gu Xiong gritted his teeth and said, "This is war. In a war with the catacombs, all catacombs humans must be killed. The same goes for evil sect martial artists." "We know, but that's what you say. Can you really do it when you see this? Gu Xiong, why don't you lead a team and take care of these ordinary people? We'll take care of the martial artists. Even if we die in battle, it'll be better than this." Gu Xiong fell silent. He had seen it before, but he had never done it, especially those children. Their faces were blank. They might not even know what was right and what was evil. The ones who were bewitched were their parents and grandparents, not themselves. A group of youths in their 20s would not resist if they were asked to fight to the death with a martial artist. Even if they died in battle, the grief would only last for a while. However, it was truly difficult for them to do anything to these children. Han Su pondered for a moment before saying, "Then what do we do now?" The evil sect martial artists are clearly using these people as shields. They're holed up and won't come out, slowly dragging it out with us. Fong Ping was silent for a while. Then he asked, what would other people do if they encountered such a situation? Gu Xiong growled, "Kill. Don't think that these people don't even have the strength to truss a chicken right now. If you are really soft-hearted, you might suffer a great loss at their hands. I think the school probably had this in mind when they left this base to us. Why don't we knock them out?" Someone suggested, "We'll hand them over to the army after we've annihilated the evil sect martial artists." That's a good idea, but we might not be able to conserve our strength. There's nothing we can do even if he's dead. Everyone, this is the limit of what we can do. We can't keep dragging this out just because we're afraid of this. In the end, we still have to deal with it. Everyone looked at each other and finally came to a consensus. 10 minutes later, they were nearing Boulder Village again. Just like before, it was still the same group of civilians mixed with the children who charged out. This time, Fong Ping and the others did not retreat. They attacked one after another, slashing at the enemy's neck. As for whether they were unconscious or dead, it was hard to tell at the moment. The average person attacked, while the average person was on guard, preventing the martial artists from the village from taking the opportunity to charge out. In reality, there were indeed martial artists who charged out from the village. Everyone was holding back their anger. They were no longer polite to this group of martial artists. They shouted angrily. And in the blink of an eye, more than 10 of the martial artists who had charged out were killed. Retreat, defend! Someone in the village shouted loudly. Then, the evil sect martial artists who had charged out retreated one after another, once again hiding in the village. Fong Ping and the others did not chase after them. They carried the civilians who had collapsed on the ground and retreated. Hypocrites! If you want to kill them, just do it. Why do you have to pretend to be kind and righteous? Now that they've been captured by you, they'll die sooner or later. Why don't you just kill them and reduce their pain? Someone in the village sneered again. Zhao Yong turned around and roared, "Just you wait. When we meet you, we'll definitely give you a quick death." Ha ha ha. Then I'll wait for you. If you want to use us as your training stones, then we'll do our best. Before we die, we'll let you understand how cruel this world is. The person who spoke from the village was nowhere to be seen, but Fong Ping and the others could feel his vitality. It was very strong, possibly an upper stage or even peak rank 3 martial artist. The other party had not attacked yet. They did not know if it was because of fear or something else. Just as Fong Ping and the others were retreating, the person in the village suddenly said, "Release!" The next moment, the boulders attacked again. Boulder Village did not have many things, but it did have many stones. Everyone did not want to waste their efforts and compete with these stones. They quickly moved forward, avoiding the boulders' attack range. Just as they returned to the camp, the boulders' attack stopped. Among the waiting students, someone suddenly said, "Throw these people out." Fong Ping and the others were stunned for a moment. Gu Xiong seemed to have thought of something and shouted, "Throw them out!" Everyone else, retreat. Fong Ping and the others heard his shrill cry. In the next moment, they all threw the people they had captured aside and retreated in all directions. Bang! Just as everyone retreated, a huge explosion sounded. Stone fragments flew everywhere. When the dust settled, many people looked a little haggard. They looked at the temporary camp again. Now, there was a huge hole in the ground. Bastards! Is anyone hurt? Some superficial wounds. At this moment, Fong Ping was also very tired. Yang Xiaoman gritted her teeth and said, "They have bombs on them. It's detonators. Boulder Village is close to the mountain. They used to open mines too, so there are detonators left. The evil sect, martial artists, did it on purpose. They probably guessed what we'd do. If we didn't notice and brought them into the crowd, I'm afraid, although the hundreds of students were all rank 2 and above, if they were in the explosion range, many of them would be dead or injured. After a few consecutive setbacks, many of them looked tired and self-doubting. Fong Ping cursed and said in a muffled voice, "This is a simulation of a catacombs battle. Don't tell me there are bombs in the catacombs too?" Gu Xiong shook his head, then sighed softly. "There are no bombs in the catacombs, but this isn't a test of the bombs. It's a test of our ability to adapt." "Test my ass." Fong Ping cursed again and said angrily, "If there really was an explosion in the crowd just now, how many people would have died?" Everyone was silent. The student who had asked them to throw the people out said, "Suicide attacks are a common practice in battles against evil sect martial artists. There are traces. It's just that we haven't encountered it before." Everyone looked at him. He was an upper stage rank 2 martial artist from CCMU. Seeing that everyone was looking at him, he smiled bitterly. "Don't look at me. We've never experienced a battle of this scale before. Once we went into battle, we only thought about charging and killing. Moreover, the changes were too fast. We didn't have time to judge." Yu Xianghua exhaled. After some thought, he said, "This time, there's no need for us to discuss. Everyone, what should we do now? The other party's normal people are mostly dead. Right now, the village should be full of martial artists. However, the village's environment is more complicated. It's hard to tell how many martial artists there are and where they're hiding. Whether we continue to stand guard outside or charge in, we need to have a plan. I'm afraid they want to fight us in the streets. Boulder Village is just a village, but the buildings are very tall. Many of the houses are built with blue stones from the mountain. If we enter the streets, we'll suffer great losses. Their current goal is to kill more people. These people are not afraid of death. They're just trying to wear down our patience by delaying time. When we lose our patience and swarm into the village, I'm afraid we'll be separated quickly and many people will be killed. Fong Ping heard that and said, right now, they're relying on their geographical advantage. Is it feasible to set fire to the village? An MCMU student shook his head. Most of the buildings in Boulder Village are made of stone. The effect of setting fire to the village is limited. Moreover, this is not an enclosed village. Then what do you guys think we should do now? Are we just going to watch? In the crowd, someone discussed in low voices for a while. Finally, someone said, right now, we need to break their geographical advantage and force them to fight us head-on. If we fight them head-on, they probably won't be our match. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come up with so many tricks. Our suggestion is, first we move together. Rank 3 martial artists will slowly flatten the buildings in the village. After all, it's just a village. There aren't many houses. If we push forward and spend some time, we'll be able to flatten these houses. Second, let the people from the School of Production build some simple catapults. We'll also bombard them with boulders. We're all martial artists. Our goal is only to destroy the buildings in the village. However, I'm afraid it'll take some time. There's no hope of completing it today, Fong Ping said in surprise. You guys know how to build this thing too? It's just a simple projectile device. It's not really a catapult. It mainly relies on martial artist strength. If we build it according to the needs of ordinary people, the time needed to complete it will take a long time. This isn't a huge city either. It's just a village. Our goal is to destroy the buildings and force the evil sect martial artists out of their hiding places. We can still do it. Fong Ping and the other rank 3 martial artists looked at each other. Soon, someone asked, how long will it take? If we build it overnight, we can probably make 7 or 8 by tomorrow morning. Then, if the other party goes up the mountain, we'll use fire to attack. Actually, there aren't many trees in the mountain range behind Boulder Village. It's mainly rocks. If we burn these trees, they won't have any geographical advantage compared to us. Then, if the martial artists push forward, I'm just afraid that we'll use up too much vitality, and the other party won't give us time to recover. Fong Ping thought for a while, and said if everyone is willing to support me with some vitality pills, I can be a human destruction machine. How about that? Everyone was stunned for a moment. Fong Ping continued, my vitality recovers very quickly. These evil sect martial artists might not know about it. We can create a false impression that we've exhausted a lot of vitality because we're destroying the buildings. We might even be able to lure them into attacking first. As for the projectile device, we'll have to wait until tomorrow. No one knows what kind of changes will happen tonight. Everyone keep your guard up and maintain your vitality. The damage I can cause alone is no less than the damage caused by 10 rank 3 martial artists working together. Think about it. If the other party thinks that our 10 rank 3 martial artists have exhausted their vitality, will they let this opportunity go? There were not many rank 3 martial artists to begin with. If the other party thought that many of the powerhouses among the students had exhausted their vitality, they might take advantage of this recovery period to attack. Zhao Yang asked, how many vitality pills do you need? Give me 30 to 50 rank 3. Everyone fell silent. After a while, Fong Wenxiang said faintly, then let's wait for the projectile device to be built. Fong Ping was really asking for an exorbitant price. 20 pills is fine too. Seeing that everyone was still silent, Fong Ping said gloomily, you guys are too stingy. Even if you do it yourselves, including the stone throwing, Won't it exhaust your vitality? You still have to replenish your vitality and consume pills. How about this? 15 pills, no less. I'll supplement some myself too. Everyone looked at each other. After a while, CCM Yu Xiaoyang said, "What do you guys think? If we really let Fong Ping do it, these pills will be deducted from the loot later on. Does anyone have any objections? We can accept 10 pills. If it's too much, our gains in the future may not be worth these 15 rank 3 vitality pills. In MCMU, 15 rank 3 vitality pills cost 40 credits each. This alone would cost 600 credits, which was worth 18 million. It was hard to say if the gains in the future would be that much. These evil sect martial artists knew that they were going to die, so they might have used the pills themselves. If they did not use them, they might all be destroyed at the critical moment. The real gains in the future would be the alloy weapons in the martial artists' hands. Evil sect martial artists, on the other hand, did not have many alloy weapons in their hands. Fong Ping calculated. 10 rank 3 vitality pills would be worth 12 million, and this was just the value of the pills. In addition, it would provide him with more than 8 million wealth points. If he sold the pills in the future, he could probably provide tens of millions of wealth points. Even if he used up so much wealth points, the value of the pills would still be there. This was a net profit. Thinking of this, Fong Ping said righteously, "Everyone's doing this for the mission, so 10 pills. Let's do it together." After flattening the buildings, they can only go up the mountain and fight us head-on. Going up the mountain, I don't think the chances are high. These people are prepared to die. When the time comes, I'm afraid they'll only think about killing as many as they can and won't continue to escape. Once they feel that we can't defeat them, will the military department and the outer instructors attack? We don't think so, but they might not think it's impossible. If they fight us head-on, there might be some results, but if they fight the instructors head-on, they'll all die in vain. As he said that, Fong Ping added, "All rank 3 martial artists will gather with me. The others will stay a little further away from us. Everyone will create the illusion that we're out of energy and lure the other party to ambush us. If someone really ambushes us, we'll unleash our full combat strength and give them a surprise." Fu Changding suddenly said, "Can you really do it? Your vitality will recover, and your energy will be depleted too. When the time comes..." Fong Ping grinned. "I should be able to. If I really can't hold on, I'll retreat first. Does anyone have any objections?" "Sure. If we really flatten the buildings in the village and let the other party fight us head-on. Unless the other party has many powerhouses above upper stage rank 3, they won't be a match for us." Gu Xiong nodded. "We have more people than them. As long as their rank 3 martial artists don't fight against our rank 2 martial artists, our casualty rate will be minimized. One-on-one, the evil sect martial artists are almost no match for us. At the same rank, their weapons are simple and crude, and their combat techniques are crude. If it's 2 against 1, we can kill them quickly." As he said that, he added, "That's why the rank 3 martial artists are under the most pressure. We need to hold off their rank 3 martial artists, even upper stage and peak rank 3 martial artists. Otherwise, if the peak rank 3 martial artists appear in front of the others, I'm afraid there will be heavy casualties. There won't be many who are above upper stage rank 3. If there were, they would have rushed out and killed 2 or 3 of them at most. Same old plan. If these people really appear, we rank 3 martial artists will hold them back, and the rank 2 martial artists will go against the other rank 3 martial artists." After changing the plan again, everyone rested for a while before setting off for Boulder Village together. Fong Ping also received the 10 rank 3 vitality pills that everyone had pooled together. Chapter 210. Boom. Fong Ping had already flattened the 4th house with a loud rumble. After all, martial artists of the 3 lower ranks had not reached the inhuman stage. Fong Ping was sweating from exhaustion, his vitality depleted greatly. Back of the village, Grand Missionary, what do we do now? Someone asked in a low voice. A middle-aged man in the crowd frowned slightly and said slowly, "We will die today, but death is not something to be afraid of." Now, it was just a bunch of fledgling lackeys of great martial arts universities. These rookies have chosen the most strenuous and exhausting method. If that's the case, then let's satisfy them. Rank 1 martial artists start ambushing and harassing them, slowing them down and wearing down their patience. Once their patience is gone, they will become more anxious. Even if they take turns, the vitality depletion cannot be replenished in a short period of time. Rank 2 and 3 martial artists gather up, listen to my command in half an hour. Attack the rank 3 martial artists together. Half an hour is not enough for them to replenish their vitality. We'll wait and kill as many as we can. Yes, following the middle-aged man's command, evil sect martial artists started appearing and harassing them. Gu Xiong and the others did not mind. They killed them when they came and pretended to help in bulldozing the houses, their faces pale. There were not many buildings in Boulder Village, but there were still about 100 houses. However, after bulldozing more than 10 houses at the village entrance, the entirety of Boulder Village was gradually revealed to everyone. Fong Ping glanced at the houses at the back and said in a low voice, "Bulldoze some houses in the middle section. That should be enough. Leave a few people behind to pretend to replenish their vitality." A few rank 3 martial artists sat down cross-legged and tossed a chocolate or something into their mouths before swallowing it. After that, after bulldozing a few houses, a few people started to replenish their vitality. Half an hour later, Fong Ping panted, "It's about time. I'm guessing they'll come out soon. If they don't, it means they've snuck into the back of the mountain." They were almost at the end. If they still did not come out, it meant they had run away and were no longer in the village. Gu Xiong suddenly shouted, "Retreat!" Everyone retreated. If they kept moving forward, it would only make them suspicious. "We can't leave." As soon as Gu Xiong finished speaking, more than 10 people rushed toward them from both sides of the house. Gu Xiong roared, "Everyone else, support us. Stop those people." The Grand Missionary roared. Dozens of people surged out from behind them, bypassing Fong Ping and the others to attack Zhang Ziwei. And the others. The Grand Missionary cut to the chase. He glanced at Fong Ping and the others and roared, "Kill these lackeys and fulfill their wish to enter the trial." With that, the Grand Missionary headed straight for Gu Xiong. Gu Xiong didn't show any weakness. He stomped on the ground, and his fists glowed with a faint blood-red light. In the blink of an eye, he engaged in close combat with his opponent. Bang! Before Fong Ping and the others could make a move, Gu Xiong was sent flying backward. He growled, "Peak rank 3, send a few more?" The difference between a peak rank 3 martial artist and an early stage rank 3 was too big. When Gu Xiong was at rank 2, he could already fight against middle stage rank 3 martial artists. However, now that he had entered rank 3, he was sent flying after, exchanging a few blows with his opponent. At his roar, Zhao Yang, Yu Xianghua, and the others abandoned their opponents and rushed toward the Grand Missionary. Fong Ping wasted no time and dashed over quickly. 6 rank 3 martial artists surrounded and attacked the Grand Missionary. Fong Ping's foot landed on his opponent's thigh, but he was forced to take a few steps back. His vitality fluctuated wildly. A peak rank 3 martial artist, Fong Ping's expression was solemn. As expected, the difference between an early stage and middle stage rank 3 was obvious. His opponent's defense was too strong. If they were hit by a counterattack, Fong Ping and the others would be severely injured. While they were attacking the Grand Missionary, Qin Pengfei suddenly roared, "Upper stage rank 3, come help." At his words, the rank 3 students next to him abandoned their opponents and began attacking the upper stage rank 3 martial artist that Qin Pengfei was facing. Out of the 15 rank 3 martial artists, 10 of them were occupied by these two. Among the evil sect martial artists, there were still 7 or 8 rank 3 martial artists left. They began attacking the remaining students. Even so, the rank 3 students who were attacking the Grand Missionary and the upper stage rank 3 were at a disadvantage. Zhang Ziwei, hurry up and kill them. Come and help. Peak rank 2 martial artists, Qin Pengfei roared. For early stage rank 3 martial artists were being beaten back. The upper stage rank 3 martial artist they were facing was wielding an alloy staff. With one swing of the staff, everyone's vitality fluctuated and their internal organs trembled. Qin Pengfei was the main attacker, but he kept vomiting blood as he retreated. The other 3 were of limited use. Zhang Ziwei and the others were also rapidly killing the evil sect martial artists who were blocking their way. Although these people were few in number, they were not afraid of death, and they managed to keep more than 200 people at bay. The Grand Missionary snorted coldly. You've got some wits about you. You didn't use up much vitality, but that won't do you any good. After killing all of you rank 3 martial artists, I think the dogs of martial arts universities won't have the foolish idea of using us as practice stones in the future. The Grand Missionary did not use a weapon, so he still had the energy to speak. As he spoke, his opponent knocked Zhao Yang back with a punch. Zhao Yang's face was flushed, and the next moment he spat out a mouthful of blood. Hold him back! Zhao Yang roared. His temples caved in instantly, and his hands glowed with a faint, visible blood-red light. Fong Ping and the others saw this and held the Grand Missionary back. In the next moment, Zhao Lei's fists moved like lightning, aiming for the Grand Missionary's head while he was distracted. The Grand Missionary let out a low growl, forcing the people around him to retreat. His body suddenly shot up. Zhao Yang's fist did not hit his head but his shoulder. The sound of metal colliding could be heard. Not bad. If you were upper stage rank 3, I'm afraid I would have been seriously injured. What a pity! The Grand Missionary's shoulder caved in slightly and blood flowed out, but he was not injured to the core. Zhao Yang had not mastered his ultimate move. His punch had exploded with almost 200 calories vitality, reaching the level of a rank 3 killer move, but it had only slightly injured his opponent. Zhao Yang's vitality was unstable, and his vitality was declining rapidly. On the other side, Qin Pengfei and the others could not hold on much longer. Fortunately, Zhang Ziwei and a few peak rank 2 martial artists rushed over and began to fight the upper stage rank 3 martial artist. Fong Ping and the others had overestimated themselves. Even an upper stage rank 3 and a peak rank 3 martial artist were too much for them to handle, let alone a rank 4 martial artist. The opponent's casual attacks were not any weaker than their so-called trump cards. His vitality outbursts were not that much either. Every move he made could produce 20 to 30 calories vitality, which was close to their 100 calories vitality outbursts. The Grand Missionary, on the other hand, did not make many moves. He mostly relied on his body to defend. Gu Xiong yelled, "He's draining our vitality on purpose." A peak rank 3 martial artist vitality was as high as 1,000 calories. Their muscles, bones, and flesh were honed to their peak. Other than their brains and internal organs, they were almost indestructible. The Grand Missionary would often rather suffer minor injuries than fight back. Instead, he would let everyone else attack him, relying on his strong body to block the attacks. Gu Xiong roared. The Grand Missionary did not make a sound. Everyone knew this. If you did not attack, he would attack. If you were not careful, he could kill you with one move. Everyone was stuck between a rock and a hard place. They had no choice but to unleash their full strength. The Grand Missionary's body was riddled with wounds, but they were all minor. Fong Ping and the others had suffered worse injuries, and their vitality had been greatly depleted. The others were starting to panic. Fong Ping suddenly shouted, You guys go take care of the upper stage rank 3 martial artist. Leave this to me. Everyone was stunned. Even the Grand Missionary was stunned. What are you looking at? Go. With that, Fong Ping's Chongdao slashed out, his vitality almost condensing into a saber glow. The great missionary focused his mind and stopped being distracted. A blood-red glow appeared on his fist as he punched the saber, causing it to tremble. Let's see how many more moves you can use. Even the Grand Missionary had to focus on defense when faced with Fong Ping's 100 calories vitality outburst. How many more times could Fong Ping use such a move? Soon, Fong Ping told him how many more times he could use it. Dong, dong, dong. Fong Ping slashed 5 times in a row, each blow producing 100 calories vitality outbursts. The Grand Missionary kept retreating. The others did not hesitate either. They all remembered Fong Ping's advantage. His vitality recovered extremely quickly, but they did not know what his limit was. Now that Fong Ping was using a big move, the Grand Missionary had no choice but to defend himself. They had to take care of the upper stage rank 3 martial artists first. The Grand Missionary frowned slightly. He was just about to push Fong Ping aside when Fong Ping quickly caught up to him and unleashed consecutive slashes again. Bang! The Grand Missionary took a few steps back after taking a few hits, his feet leaving cracks in the ground. You can still continue. The Grand Missionary's eyes were cold. He huffed. Looks like you're a genius from a martial arts university. Killing you is better than killing a bunch of rank 2 and 3 martial artists. You'll know once you try. Fong Ping's forehead was dripping with sweat. The Grand Missionary was no longer on the defensive. With a low growl, he arched his spine and appeared in front of Fong Ping in the next second. His fists and legs moved in unison, each attack aimed at Fong Ping's vitals. Fong Ping's forehead was dripping with sweat. He defended with all his might, but he was still forced to retreat. His body was covered in blood. You know how to attack, but so do I. Fong Ping gritted his teeth. He planted his heel on the ground and took a step back, putting some distance between them. Then, he continued slashing at the Grand Missionary with all his might. The Grand Missionary's expression changed again. How many times had he slashed? 20 times? 30 times? A peak rank 3 martial artist vitality was much stronger than a middle stage rank 3's. The explosive power of 1 calorie was comparable to that of a middle stage rank 3 martial artist or below. His vitality was 1,000 calories. If both of them had the same offensive power, he could sustain attacks with the power of 2 to 3,000 cal. Middle stage rank 3 martial artists, on the other hand, usually had a vitality of around 600 calories. In terms of endurance, he could exhaust 6 or 7 middle stage rank 3 martial artists to death, perhaps even more. That was because he did not just defend without attacking. In a one-on-one fight, a martial artist like him could defeat a middle stage rank 3 martial artist in a matter of a few moves. Fong Ping, on the other hand, was attacking instead of defending. Every move he made was a killer move. Under such circumstances, even the Grand Missionary had to retreat a little. Let's see how many slashes you can unleash. The Grand Missionary made up his mind. He did not believe that a middle-stage martial artist could unleash an unlimited number of big moves. It was true that Fong Ping could not unleash an unlimited number of attacks, but he did not need to. Unleashing an attack for a short period of time was enough. Even if the Grand Missionary was only defending, it did not mean that he did not consume vitality. He had expended a lot of vitality when everyone had ganged up on him, and he was still expending it now. Fong Ping did not think that his opponent could outlast him. 36 slashes. 37 slashes. Fong Ping counted silently. Each slash cost more than 100,000 wealth points. He had probably used up more than 4 million by now. A peak rank 3 martial artist can really take it. At that moment, Fong Ping realized that he was at his limit. His bones were already creaking, and his skin was starting to crack, bleeding profusely. Blood chi could be replenished, but other physical conditions were still limited. The Grand Missionary was also bleeding from the corner of his mouth. His body was covered in scars, but he was still smiling. "Are you all right?" With that, the Grand Missionary let out a low growl, and the afterimage of a fist flew toward Fong Ping's throat. Fong Ping growled and whipped out his right leg. His foot cracked from the punch, and the alloy combat boots that had accompanied him for so many days showed signs of tearing. Fong Ping cried out in pain and retreated quickly, dragging his injured leg behind him. The Grand Missionary was relentless and charged at him again. Fong Ping roared and slashed with his Changdao again. Bang, bang, a series of slashes hit him. The Grand Missionary gasped and stopped where he was. Fong Ping, on the other hand, was panting. He was drenched from head to toe. "It's almost 5 million. Fong Ping gritted his teeth. He had really suffered a huge loss this time, including the flattening of the house and the killing of the 2 martial artists the night before. He had spent close to 10 million wealth. He was also covered in scars. If this went on, it would be a waste to kill this guy." On the other side, the upper stage rank 3 martial artist was at the end of his rope. He fought with all his might, forcing everyone to retreat. Occasionally, someone would be injured and thrown out of the fight. A few peak rank 2 martial artists joined the fray, surrounding and killing the man. As for Fong Ping, no one cared about him anymore. At least it looked like he could hold out for a while. It would not be too late to help after killing the upper stage rank 3 martial artist. Is a peak rank 3 really this strong? Fong Ping looked at the Grand Missionary, feeling a little helpless. The man's vitality was almost depleted, but he was only fighting with his bare hands. Yet he had the strength of a rank 3 martial artist. If the Grand Missionary had not refused to retreat, he would have fought to the death. Even at this point, he still had a chance to escape. Fong Ping would have a hard time killing him. The Grand Missionary smiled and panted. "Stop looking. People like us know that we're going to die, so we'll kill as many as we can before we die." "You're interesting. You could probably kill a team of middle stage rank 3 martial artists all by yourself. It's a pity that someone like you is willing to be their dog." Fong Ping's pupils contracted, and he retreated hastily. The next moment, the Grand Missionary hammered his chest, blood gushing from his mouth. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Fong Ping. Fong Ping had no time to retreat. He gritted his teeth and held his Changdao horizontally in front of his chest. Bam! There was a loud crash, and the surface of the Changdao caved in a little. Fong Ping felt a sharp pain in his chest as he flew backward, blood gushing from his mouth. "Not dead yet? You've honed your organs?" The pale-faced Grand Missionary was a little surprised, but he quickly gave chase. Fong Ping fell to the ground, blood gushing out of his mouth like it was free. F***CK. Fong Ping was both angry and thankful. The bodybuilding pill had honed his organs, so they were not as weak as the average person's. Otherwise, he would have died from the impact of the punch. Fong Ping's heart ached again when he saw the dent in his Changdao. At that moment, a desperate roar came from the side. More than 10 rank 3 martial artists had finally worn down the upper stage rank 3 martial artist. The Grand Missionary's expression changed slightly, and his footsteps slowed. Gu Xiong and the others rushed to Fong Ping's aid. Chun Yunxi and the others hurried over to help Fong Ping. On the other side, Gu Xiong and the others had already engaged the Grand Missionary. When Fong Ping saw this, he clutched his chest and turned to Chun Yunxi. "Do you have a survival pill? Lend me one." Chun Yunxi quickly stuffed a pill into his hands. Fong Ping swallowed it in one gulp and said angrily, "Get out of my way. He's mine. He had to kill this bastard today. If he did not kill him, he would have suffered a great loss in this mission." Gu Xiong and the others were also injured. Zhao Yong said angrily. Now is not the time to be a hero. Get out of my way, or you'll have to compensate me with a pill. Fong Ping was flustered and exasperated. In the next moment, he rushed forward with his saber. The blood-red glow on his saber became even more dazzling. His vitality overflowed, and the power he unleashed was even greater than before. Zhao Yang and the others retreated when they saw that he did not care about the enemy. This bastard. They did not know what to say. How many times had Fong Ping used his big move from start to finish? Could this still be considered a life-saving ultimate move? Fong Ping's attack had not reached the level of an ultimate move, but with his consecutive slashes, it was not much different from an ultimate move. According to everyone's estimates, his vitality had probably been depleted by more than 5,000 calories. From this, it was clear how big the gap was between a peak rank 3 and everyone else. Even with such an outburst, Fong Ping had almost been killed by one punch. The Grand Missionary's vitality had been depleted by Fong Ping's frenzied slashes, and he could only rely on his physical strength to fight back. After a while, Gu Xiong shouted, "Finish him up! Search the village! Kill them all!" On Fong Ping's side, 5 rank 3 martial artists who had not expended too much vitality were on standby, ready to rescue him. 200 credits for a life-saving pill. 1 pill. And I've already lost so much. I won't rest until I kill you today. Fong Ping was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. His Feng's widow was damaged, his alloy boots were torn, and his wealth had been depleted by almost 10 million. How could he not be angry when he had suffered such losses because of one person? I don't believe that a peak rank 3 can be indestructible. I'll shatter your internal organs even if I do. Fong Ping's bones creaked. The Grand Missionary was not feeling well either. Fresh blood gushed out of his mouth, mixed with pieces of his internal organs. No one had ever thought that a middle-stage rank 3 martial artist could unleash nearly 100 slashes with a 100 calories move. Other than calling him a rascal, there was no other way to describe his fighting style. Just as Fong Ping's slashes were numb, the Grand Missionary fell to his knees with a thud. Fong Ping's neck slash landed squarely on his skull. The next moment, Fong Ping slumped to the ground too, mumbling, "I finally killed him." Fong Ping could not bring himself to be happy. This mission had been frustrating for him the entire time. Even if he had killed the strongest peak rank 3 martial artist, the price he had paid was too high. More than 100 slashes, close to 10,000 vitality. Old Man Li, just lay there and let me slash at him. Do you think I'll kill him? Fong Ping recalled Old Man Li's words. Even if he lay there and let Fong Ping slash at him, Fong Ping would not be able to kill him. Chapter 211. Half an hour later, Gu Xiong and the others walked over tiredly. After a head count, there are a total of 214 evil sect martial artists. 140 of them are rank 1, 65 of them are rank 2, and 9 of them are rank 3. Compared to the martial arts universities, there was a huge gap between this kind of strength. There were close to 300 people on the martial arts university's side, and the lowest was rank 2. However, in a battle with such a huge disparity in strength, everyone suffered a great loss. As Gu Xiong spoke, he sighed and said, "On the martial arts university side, 6 people have died in battle. All the rank 3 martial artists are injured. Moreover, they were not light injuries. Yu Xianghua, Zhao Lei, and the others were all severely injured." Zhao Lei's face was pale, but he smiled and said, "It's all thanks to Fong Ping." If Fong Ping had not entangled the opponent's peak rank 3 martial artist, at least a few rank 3 martial artists would have died this time. Fong Ping, on the other hand, lay on the ground without making a sound. He took a look at his wealth points and realized that he was only left with 12 million. Before this, he had received 10 rank 3 vitality pills from everyone. His wealth was as high as 25 million. In order to kill this peak rank 3, Fong Ping had spent 13 million wealth points and a life-saving pill. Fong Ping had borrowed this pill, and it did not increase his wealth. The Feng's widow was dented, the alloy boots were damaged, and there were many injuries on his body. His internal organs were fine, and he had taken a life-saving pill and was constantly recovering. He ignored the others. When he saw Chun Yunshi approaching, he panted and said, "I'll return it to you later." "No need. I'll return it to you. I don't live off a woman." Fong Ping snorted, his face full of dissatisfaction. Then he suddenly said, "I'll sell you rank 3 vitality pills. 10 pills for 11 million. Just give me 5 million. Everyone was dumbfounded. This guy was still in the mood to sell medicine. Chun Yunshi was taken aback as well. Fong Ping frowned. "Why? 10 rank 3 vitality pills are worth 400 credits, and your life-saving pill is worth 200 credits. 5 million isn't too expensive, is it?" "No, you—" Then it's settled. After saying that, Fong Ping got up and tossed a bottle of pills at her. "Send me 5 million when you get back." Chun Yunshi was at a loss. She held the pill and did not know what to say. At this moment, Fong Ping was already walking outside. Fu Changding came over and grinned. "You're amazing. You almost killed a peak rank 3 martial artist by yourself. Hee, you think I want to?" Fong Ping felt like dying. He had lost more than 20 million just to kill that guy. Fu Changding did not continue. Everyone had seen how many big moves Fong Ping had executed in order to kill his opponent. As for Fong Ping, he did not seem to have taken any medication. No one knew what was going on. Perhaps he had taken it in advance, or perhaps there were other reasons. It was not convenient for him to ask about it now. Fu Changding whispered, "Aren't you the best at taking advantage of others? Chun Yunshi doesn't want it anymore. Why would she return it?" "Get lost. Did I take advantage of you? I just don't like to owe others. I prefer an equivalent exchange." Fu Changding sighed softly. "I can tell. You see everything as a transaction. Actually, this may not be a good thing. Chun Yunshi lent you pills, but you turned it into money and returned it. There's no camaraderie at all. It's even more hurtful. Actually, if I were you, I wouldn't return it this time. At most, you can compensate her the next time she's in danger. Now, money is money, and a deal is a deal." Fong Ping frowned. "Isn't that good? Maybe you think it's good, but for us, our relationship will be greatly discounted. I think it's good." "Who knows when martial artists will die?" Fong Ping said mildly. "My instructor said that martial artists don't need to invest too much in each other. In the past, I thought it was cold-blooded. Now that I think about it, it's not bad. If 6 people died in a random mission, how sad would their friends be? Instead of being sad in the future, it's better to be like this. One day, no one will feel so sad when they die. Why bother?" Fu Changding shook his head, but said nothing more. Fong Ping ignored him and did not participate in the search. He walked out of the village and found a place to bandage his wounds. 2 hours later, the search ended. A total of 192 pills were found. Most of them are normal vitality pills. The total value is less than 30 million. They had wiped out a foothold of hundreds of martial artists and found pills worth less than 30 million. A mission like this was the biggest loss of all. 54 weapons, 30 F grade, 18 E grade, and 6 D grade. The F grade is worth very little. Altogether, it's only worth about 20 million. After some calculations, the total value was only about 50 million. There were close to 300 people involved. If they divided the loot evenly, each person would only get a little more than 100,000. In reality, there was no such thing. You took 10 rank 3 vitality pills valued at 12 million. Deduct that first. Also, we've decided to compensate each of the 6 students who died in the battle with 3 million. Fong Ping, do you have any objections? Zhao Yang and the others looked at Fong Ping. Fong Ping had killed the grand missionary in this battle. Although he was not as strong as a peak rank 3, exhausting a peak rank 3 to death was a testament to his strength. At this moment, they had to ask for Fong Ping's opinion. No objections. Therefore, the remaining loot is worth about 20 million. What we mean is that if we divide it evenly, it's only a few tens of thousands per person. To us, it doesn't mean much. Many people were injured this time, so we'll use some of it to treat everyone's injuries. You can take 1 million from the remaining loot. The rest will be divided among those who contributed more. The remaining money was only about 10 million. Giving Fong Ping 1 million was indeed a lot, taking up almost 1/10 of the total. Fong Ping felt a little depressed. He knew he would suffer a loss, but he did not expect it to be this much. All right, do whatever you want. What should we do now? Wait for the school to check. Everyone stopped talking. They sat down cross-legged and fell into silence. After a while, Yu Xianghua sighed. I thought we were the best of the best. We've all carried out many missions and completed them beautifully. Now we understand that we're lacking too much. We made mistakes again and again, underestimated our opponent's time and time again. In the end, if Fong Ping had not kept the peak rank 3 martial artist occupied, I'm afraid we would have lost more than 20 people. Everyone sighed. Suddenly, someone said, "It's good that you know your flaws." Tang Fong and a group of instructors walked over from a distance. Tang Fong did not look at the nearby village. He said, "Get up, everyone. I'll show you something." Everyone got up. At this moment, more than 10 military vehicles stopped beside them. "Get in," Tang Fong ordered. Everyone got in. Less than half an hour later, the vehicle stopped at the entrance of another village. At this moment, a battle had broken out here. On one side were soldiers in military uniform, and on the other side were evil sect martial artists. Projectile. Fong Ping and the others had just arrived, accompanied by a loud roar. A group of people behind the soldiers who were participating in the battle threw bamboo spears. The powerhouses of the evil sect martial artists blocked, but the weaker ones were pierced straight through. Spear. Following the order, the soldiers in the front row stepped forward in unison. They held the spears in their hands and stabbed in unison. Even though there were many powerhouses on the other side, they kept retreating, leaving the weaker ones who were a step slower to be stabbed to death. Projectile. Orders were relayed. The soldiers at the back kept taking turns to throw the javelins. The number of martial artists on the other side kept decreasing. Some evil sect powerhouses tried to break through the formation but were quickly stopped and held back. The others continued to kill the weaker ones. More than 10 minutes later, the weaker ones were all killed. The powerhouses in the army retreated and continued to throw the javelins. Are they depleting their vitality? Tang Fong said mildly. They're also a group of new soldiers who have never been on the battlefield. There's one good thing about them, though. They listen to orders. The martial artists here are about the same strength as yours. There aren't many martial artists in the army here. Less than 50 people. The mission of these 50 people is to hold back the strongest powerhouses and not give them a chance to break through the formation. After killing all the rank 1 and 2 martial artists, these rank 3 martial artists will be depleting their vitality. Facing so many people, they'll die sooner or later. Fong Ping frowned. We're different from the soldiers. We don't have the consciousness to move as one, and we can't plan in an orderly manner. We're all independent martial artists. Tang Fong scolded. Idiot! Am I asking you to learn this? I'm asking you to learn how to use all your strength. How did you use more than 200 rank 2 martial artists? In the end, they were just bystanders at the periphery. If you let these rank 2 martial artists hold long weapons and divide them into 10 teams of 20, then take turns to kill that peak rank 3 martial artist, If you let rank 3 martial artists stop him from escaping, he can hold on for 1 or 2 rounds. What about dozens of rounds? If you let 3 to 5 rank 3 martial artists watch the periphery and stop him from using the midair step to escape, he can't escape. Fong Ping said sheepishly, "That's too slow." Humph! Tang Fong let out a humph and said discontentedly, "Have you forgotten how you and Fu Chongding lost?" "What? When you and Fu Chongding first entered the school, how did the others surround you and make you admit defeat in the end? One-on-one, who's your match? The strong ones hold you back, and the weak ones take turns to attack. If you could think of it back then, why can't you think of it now? At the end of the day, it's because you think you're strong, very powerful, even invincible, that you choose to fight head-on. But are you really invincible? You're just a bunch of newbies. Do you really think you're so strong?" A bunch of rank 3 martial artists look down on rank 2 martial artists, thinking that they're dispensable, even thinking that they're a burden. Is that what you're thinking? Where did you get the confidence to think you're so strong? Everyone was speechless. Most of the things that everyone had discussed previously were rank 3 martial artists. Rank 2 martial artists, especially those below peak, had almost no right to speak. Tang Fong reprimanded them and looked at everyone. This is what happens when you're overconfident. You're confident that you're strong, confident that no one would dare to ambush a group of 300 martial artists. The evil sect martial artists don't actually have a system. Once they're unified, more than half of you will die. In the catacombs army is more elite than ours. I don't want you to die not at the hands of the strong, but at the hands of a bunch of weaklings. Tang Fong said that they were overconfident. Everyone looked at each other and said nothing. Everyone was very confident. After all, everyone had dealt with evil sect martial artists before. They felt that it was just SOSO. If they were to fight head-on, the other party would definitely not be their match. That was why from the beginning, everyone had this idea. Powerhouses against powerhouses. Weaklings against powerhouses. Kill first, then talk later. Of course, that was the truth. However, it was also because of this that some people lost their lives. If they really treated the other party as a big enemy, they might not necessarily die. Other than the upper stage and peak rank 3 martial artists, the other party was much weaker than them. Everyone has to be careful when dealing with the enemy. Strategically, we should look down on the opponent, but tactically, we should pay attention. Also, has anyone thought of inspecting the base? Let's not talk about whether there are enemies in the base. We left 500 alloy javelins in the base's warehouse for you. Has anyone seen them? Fong Ping and the others looked at each other, then fell silent again. Tang Fong rubbed his temples and frowned. We've actually destroyed the core of the mountain behind Boulder Village. If a few people go up there and move around a little, they'll be able to push the boulders down and cause the mountain to collapse. Has anyone gone to check? Once the mountain collapses, Boulder Village will be buried under the boulders. How many of the enemies do you think will survive? Everyone continued to look at each other in silence. Tang Fong sighed. A bunch of brainless martial artists who only have brute force. Fong Ping had used these words to criticize him in the past. Now he was being despised, but he could not refute it. If everyone was like you in the catacombs, humans would have been defeated a long time ago. Did the school really only teach you to use your fists and not your brains? The students from the School of Tactics and Strategy lack some strength. They're all just there for show. Didn't the students from the School of Production think of setting up some traps to lure the enemy to attack first? Along the way, there were many places suitable for setting up traps. Didn't anyone think of giving it a try? If the other party could think of digging a few holes and hiding some people to ambush you, why didn't you think of that, other than attacking head-on? What else could you think of? Are you the ones who were really anxious? They were the ones who were anxious. They wanted to break out of the encirclement, but you weren't. You could attack or retreat. In the end, they were the ones who wore out your patience, not the other way around. If you had turned around and left, look, who would be the anxious one? You would have gone through so much trouble to flatten the houses. You should have the initiative in choosing the location of the battle, and not let the initiative fall into the hands of others. As for you, if you think that you're not suited for large-scale battles, then divide your forces and form teams. But the premise is that you have to let the other party disperse. Have you tried that? If you insist on charging at them together, you can't divide your forces. Do they know how many people you have? If you had a few hundred people charging at them together, even a single person would not have dared to fight. If more than 10 people had gone over, the evil sect martial artists would definitely have swarmed out and attacked you first. Finding a suitable place along the way and luring them into a trap is a piece of cake. The evil sect martial artists are not afraid of death. They only want to kill. If there are fewer people, they will definitely pursue and attack, finding a suitable place to surround and kill them. If you used 500 alloy javelins, you could have killed more than half of the evil sect martial artists on the spot. After that, with so many people surrounding and killing those martial artists, would anyone die? Tang Feng's mouth was dry from all the talking. He said angrily, "There were close to 300 people, but none of you used your brains. You just listened to whatever Fong Ping and the other brainless people said." Fong Ping protested. "Instructor, it wasn't my suggestion." Tang Feng glared at him and exhaled. The people in the military department said that martial arts university students are useless. You bunch of people have brought shame to our martial arts universities. It was a simple mission, but 6 people had died. Also about the battle with that peak rank 3 martial artist. Are you all idiots? In the end, you let Fong Ping fight him one-on-one in the arena. "But I killed him," Tang Feng said impatiently. "That's because you cheated. You slashed him a few hundred times. How much vitality did you use?" After saying that, Tang Feng suddenly asked, "Where did you get all that vitality from?" "Hoarded." Tang Feng was stunned. Fong Ping said casually, "If I don't digest the pills I eat, they will accumulate vitality in my body. I thought that this was going to be dangerous, so I swallowed dozens of pills in advance. You're asking for it." Tang Feng scolded and frowned. "Go and check your body later. You ate dozens of pills and your body didn't explode. What's going on?" "I'm not checking." Fong Ping shook his head. "This is my trump card. It's not appropriate for you to ask about it here. Instructor." "You." Tang Feng was speechless. Everyone had seen it. What trump card? Did he think everyone was blind? Ignoring him, Tang Feng said suddenly, "No matter how much vitality you have, you still need to use it. You didn't use it well. You only killed him after hundreds of slashes, and you almost died. Don't rely on this. The grand missionary strength is average, and his cultivation of combat skills is average. Otherwise, if he mastered a rank 3 ultimate move and killed you in one move, would you have a chance to kill him? The grand missionary's cultivation of combat skills was average, and his vitality outburst was not high. If the other party had a vitality outburst of 300 calories, it would be equivalent to Fong Ping's ultimate move of 700 to 800 calories. One move and Fong Ping would be beaten to death. This was why Fong Ping could wear him out. Otherwise, he would have been killed with one punch. Fong Ping said helplessly, "I spent all my time honing. That's why I was able to enter middle stage rank 3. I've been thinking of cultivating combat skills after I enter upper stage." This time, Tang Feng did not criticize him. They were all young people, and they were in a hurry to cultivate. Time was tight. At this time, it was inevitable that they would be lacking. Let's go. This time, all of you should reflect on yourselves. The assessment scores are still being tallied. For those who don't reach 100 points, the schools will increase their training. We sent you into the catacombs in the hope that you'll be useful, not die in vain. As a school, we can't teach you everything step by step. You'll have to figure it out on your own. Don't always think that you're so strong. Battles of this scale are very common in the catacombs. We often encounter catacombs villages that are no weaker than Boulder Village today. Others can kill them all by themselves. Based on your situation, entering the catacombs is suicide. For someone like Fong Ping, who can still accumulate vitality, it's normal for him to massacre a village of this scale alone. Now, if he goes in, he'll die immediately. Once again, Fong Ping was used as a negative example. Fong Ping was helpless. Big Lion had a handle on him today. Whatever he said was true. There was nothing he could say to refute. Still, Fong Ping felt that it was better to keep a low profile for the time being. From what Big Lion had said, he might have felt that something was wrong with him. In reality, it was indeed not normal. If an instructor asks me to swallow a pill next time and perform it on the spot, won't I be screwed? Fong Ping considered the problem and tried to come up with a solution. However, there was no time to swallow the pill today. Fong Ping was also reluctant to do so. It was too wasteful. Forget it. I'll take it one step at a time. If I really have to swallow a few dozen pills, I'm afraid my body will explode. Chapter 2:12. After watching the recruits' encirclement and annihilation of the evil sect martial artists, Tang Feng sent everyone back to camp to recuperate. Tang Feng, on the other hand, left with the instructors. Watching them leave, the few soldiers in charge of driving said in a low voice, "The few evil sects have sent out 3 high-ranked powerhouses and a group of middle-ranked martial artists this time. They're now surrounded in the White Mountains. The martial arts university instructors must have gone to participate in the encirclement." Fong Ping's side could only be considered a small fight. Nanjiang's local grandmasters, together with the surrounding provinces, had gathered 9 high grandmasters. They were not here to take care of the 3 lower ranks. 3 high ranks. Fong Ping and the others were shocked. Were the evil sects that strong? They actually sent 3 high grandmaster level powerhouses. Of course, the evil sect's high ranks were the same as the catacombs' high ranks. They were only high ranks, not grandmasters. It won't be dangerous, right? Many of them looked worried. The soldier in charge of driving smiled and said, "It won't be a problem. We've sent 9 high grandmaster powerhouses. If it's really troublesome, Master Tang," and the others would have gone there long ago. Everyone thought about it and agreed. The instructors still had the time to stay and watch their performance. Obviously, the situation was going well. The car arrived at the camp quickly. Fong Ping had just gotten out of the car when a soldier suddenly ran out of the camp and shouted, "Fong Ping, someone's looking for you. Answer the phone." Fong Ping heard that and subconsciously touched his pants pocket. Only then did he remember that his phone had been torn apart during the fight. Who called here? Fong Ping was a little surprised. He did not even know the base's phone number. Only MCMU's instructors could call here. Without saying anything, Fong Ping followed the soldier to the barracks. After entering the barracks, Fong Ping picked up the landline phone and said, "I'm Fong Ping. You killed a peak rank 3 martial artist?" Hearing this voice, Fong Ping immediately smiled and said, "Instructor taught me well." Lu Fengru said lightly, "Don't give me that. I heard that you slashed him hundreds of times, and every move was a 100 cal vitality outburst." That, Lu Fengru suddenly said, "How much do you weigh?" Fong Ping was stunned. Lu Fengru said again, "Rapid vitality, recovery, even without using pills, can extract the world's energy particles to recover and replenish vitality. This is a special case for grandmasters." Fong Ping was stunned for a moment. Lu Fengru continued, "How can a martial artist of the 3 lower ranks have the special case of a grandmaster? First, the bone marrow would be like mercury. In other words, when it came to bone honing, ordinary people would have their bones honed to 90%. Those with extraordinary talents would have their bones honed to more than 90%. Their bone marrow would be like mercury, and their weight would be heavier than ordinary people. Secondly, his mental power was different from ordinary people. He could extract energy particles. If one could achieve these 2 points, it could be said that even if one was in the 3 lower ranks, one's vitality could not be extinguished. If he could not do it, then he should be prepared to be studied. A martial artist of the 3 lower ranks with an undying vitality might change a lot of things. Think about it yourself. If you can't do these 2 things after leaving the catacombs, your life will be spared, but you'll have to make a few more trips to the lab. Fong Ping was stunned. After a while, he said in a cold sweat, "Teacher, you mean ostentatious, high profile? You brought this upon yourself. In front of hundreds of people, your chi and blood are not extinguished, and you can use your ultimate moves endlessly. What do you think? Do what I said, and things calm down. Mental power shouldn't be a problem. The main thing is that the bone marrow is like mercury. Even I can't do it now. You have to think of a way yourself." "Teacher," Fong Ping swallowed and said dryly, There is no special way to hone one's bone marrow. The previous bone honing was based on the completion of honing of all the bones in the body, reaching 90%, including the skull. At this moment, vitality naturally penetrates deep into the bone marrow and begins to be honed and fused. This is a metamorphosis. The honing of the bone marrow is completed in a day. The bone marrow is like mercury. The vitality is like a tide. The golden skin and jade bones are achieved, and the person can be said to be an immortal. At that time, the human body will no longer have any flaws. From the inside to the outside, it will be beyond human. Therefore, for this kind of person, vitality recovery is no longer a problem. The bones and muscles are all breathing and extracting energy, and the vitality is always at its peak. Fong Ping's expression was bitter. There was no use in saying all this. The main thing was, how could he do this? Lu Fengru said suddenly, "Do you know that Nanjiang's Wang Jinyang is known as half a grandmaster? Or should I say, a potential grandmaster? This Sun City might have a secret belonging to Sun City. Go ask him and see if he will tell you, because his bone marrow is chalcedony." Fong Ping's heart shook. "Teacher, you mean, don't ask me. I don't know. Maybe you are too?" Lu Fengru said lightly, "Whether it is or not, right now, you are naturally chalcedony." Fong Ping, this kind of test is very simple. Chalcedony is much heavier than bone marrow. Weighing is the best way. No one will break your bones and dig out your bone marrow to test it. Those who have honed their bones are heavier than the average person. If you weigh 200 caddies right now, those with mercury-like bone marrow might weigh 250 caddies or even heavier. All right, I'm hanging up. Don't think that everyone in the world is an idiot. After saying this, Lu Fengru hung up the phone. Fong Ping's head was already drenched in sweat. When Tang Fong spoke earlier, he already had a bad feeling. As expected, his performance this time was too much. In addition, he did not even take a pill, so he attracted attention immediately. Lu Fengru knew that it was most likely Tang Fong who told her about this. Lu Fengru did not intend to investigate further. She only told Fong Ping that there was only one way to solve this problem. Fong Ping was a person with a fully honed bone marrow. It was completely understandable that this kind of martial artist would have some special traits. If he could achieve mercury-like bone marrow and faster vitality recovery in the 3 lower ranks, what was wrong with that? However, Fong Ping wanted to cry, but had no tears. The system was very deceitful. It had not unlocked more than 90% of his bones. How could he possibly achieve mercury-like bone marrow now? Lu Fengru's other words were also very clear. He could keep his life. He was an MCMU student and a prodigy, so it was not necessary to take his life. After that, drawing his blood and bone marrow, and occasionally going to the lab to be a guinea pig were necessary. As long as he did not understand the mystery, Fong Ping could forget about having too much freedom. At this thought, Fong Ping suddenly remembered Lu Fengru's words. A potential grandmaster. Fong Ping did not expect Wang Jinyang to have such a title. Also, from what Lu Fengru said, Wang Jinyang's bone marrow had been honed. This was also something Fong Ping did not expect. At this thought, Fong Ping remembered that he was in Nanjiang now, so he immediately called Wang Jinyang. "Brother Wang, you're in the base?" "Yes, I just finished my mission." "Brother Wang, I want to ask you a question." "It's speak." I think I've honed my bones up to the bone marrow. I don't know if there's any problem now. I heard from my instructor that you've honed your bone marrow?" Wang Jinyang was extremely shocked. After a while, he said, "Find some time to come to NMEU. I'll be here for the next few days." "Okay, I'll be there right away." Fong Ping did not waste any more time. If he did not solve this problem soon, he would be in big trouble. Once this problem was solved, he could explain the lack of resources in the early stages. Actually, there were signs of this problem long ago. However, Fong Ping's lack of resources in the early stages was too big. It was impossible for him to keep so many pills without using or selling them. If that was the case, he would not have so many wealth points now. Relying on those pills to cultivate, Fong Ping was already good enough to enter rank 2. How could he enter middle stage rank 3? He had fooled Fu Changding and the others once, saying that he had grandmasters supporting him. Fu Changding was starting to take it seriously. Fu Changding might not know if he had the support of grandmasters, but how could those grandmasters not know? It was impossible for grandmasters to appear out of nowhere. This was no longer the ancient times, where information did not circulate. The rise of a grandmaster would not go unnoticed. Even a grandmaster from the military would not be a nobody in the circle. It was just that few people in the outside world had heard of them. If the grandmasters really wanted to find out the truth, they could do so in no time. That was why he could only use the old grandpa to fool the layman. Those in the know would not believe him. Back in the tent, Fong Ping packed his luggage and looked at Fu Changding and the others. "I'm going out for a while. Call me if you need anything. I'll get a new SIM card later." "You're leaving?" "Yes, I have something to do about the assessment." "Isn't it done now?" "I'm just counting the points. Besides, I don't know when the teachers will be back." "It's fine. I'll leave first. Remember to contact me if you need anything." Having said that, Fong Ping grabbed his backpack and hurried out. Fu Changding and the others looked at each other. Clearly, they did not know what Fong Ping was going to do in such a hurry. More than 3 hours later, River City, it was already past 10 o'clock at night. The sky was pitch black. River City was not as bustling as Magic City. At 10 o'clock, there were fewer people outside. In a coffee shop near NMAU, Fong Ping strode in and waved at Wang Jinyang from a distance. Wang Jinyang nodded slightly as he sipped his coffee. When Fong Ping arrived, Wang Jinyang looked him up and down. He frowned slightly and said mildly, "I can't tell." "Brother Wang, I've just received news that you managed to slash more than 10,000 vitality points during the encirclement, that even I can't do it. Similarly, even if your bone marrow has been honed, you can't do it unless you've mastered the bone marrow of your entire body." Fong Ping said sheepishly, Maybe I've really mastered the bone marrow of my entire body. I don't understand this myself." "Hee hee." Old Wang laughed and said mildly, "It doesn't matter. It's normal for martial artists to have secrets. There's no point in getting to the bottom of it. What do you want to know?" It's just how to cultivate the bone marrow. There's no other way." There's no special way. You probably found me because someone told you about me." Wang Jinyang said calmly, "In the modern world, I'm gifted. In the past, it was a kind of disease, an incurable disease. There's something wrong with my bone marrow. After I honed my bones, I discovered this problem. At that time, my instructor was still around. He felt that there was something wrong with my body and went to the vice chancellor. The vice-chancellor examined me for a while and guessed that my bone marrow was jade-textured. Of course, I didn't go for a checkup. It was meaningless. That's what everyone thinks. So, let's just treat it that way. As for why this mutation happened, I can't explain it. Maybe it's just like what I said, a disease. There's no cultivation method? Fong Ping looked bitter. Wang Jinyang said suddenly, not necessarily. Maybe my bone marrow's disease isn't complete. In the past, I felt that my bone marrow was liquid, but now it's turning into a solid. Take a guess. How did it happen? How did it happen? Fong Ping asked hurriedly. The bone marrow is deep inside the bones. Vitality can't penetrate and hone it normally. Vitality honing is also a kind of energy honing. After I entered the middle ranks, I often tried using energy ores to cultivate. I realized that when the energy released by energy ores reaches a limit, or even when the energy appears to be liquefied, vitality force can penetrate deep into the bone marrow and undergo honing. You can give it a try. Actually, you don't have to use energy ores. In MCMU, there's a vitality pool. You can also try to unleash the maximum release of vitality force and see if it can penetrate deep into the bone marrow. I think it should be possible. Of course, none of the 3 lower and 3 middle rank 3 martial artists had been able to do this. Even peak rank 6 martial artists would choose to hone their skulls instead of their marrows because their skulls were blocked and their vitality force was too dense. Maybe there's a need for guidance such as mentality guidance. I actually don't know much about this, but this is the only solution I know. Fong Ping's expression became even more bitter. Was it reliable? Old Wang was actually extravagant enough to use energy ores to cultivate. This thing was a controlled resource. The black market price was at least 1 million per gram, and it was sold by the gram. Old Wang actually suggested that he try it when the energy released by energy ores was liquefied. How much would it cost? Could MCMU's energy room do this? If the system was more reliable, I wouldn't have to do this. Fong Ping felt a little helpless. Then his gaze suddenly flickered. His system had been upgraded when his wealth was 1 million and 10 million respectively. Once his wealth reached 100 million, would it be upgraded again? After the upgrade, would he be able to hone his bones to 100%? The possibility of this was still very high. In other words, he had 2 paths to take now. No, there was only one path. Earn money, whether it was trying to go to the energy room or increasing his wealth to 100 million. He needed money. A lot of money. He could only try both if he had money. Without money, he could not do anything. Now his wealth was only 12 million. In other words, he had to earn at least 88 million. The prerequisite was that he did not use his wealth. Money. Where can I get so much money? Right, financing. The only way Fong Ping could think of to earn a lot of money was financing from afar. After financing, the value of the shares he held would exceed 130 million, and his wealth would exceed 100 million. He would also have the capital to activate liquefied energy cultivation in the energy room. Old Wang only gave an answer that was like a guess, but Fong Ping was satisfied. At least now he was not blind and did not know what to do. Old Wang was also giving him away. Wang Jinyang saw that Fong Ping was deep in thought and did not disturb him. After drinking his coffee for a while, Wang Jinyang said, "You've improved very quickly. You killed a peak rank 3 martial artist, even if he was just a weakling at his peak. In Sino Nation, there are more than 1 million martial artists. There are about 1 million in the 3 lower ranks. The 3 middle ranks are probably 1/10 of the 3 lower ranks, which is about 100,000 people. These people are scattered across the land of Sino Nation and in the various catacombs. If you really look at a province and a city, there are very few peak rank 3 martial artists. If you can kill a peak rank 3 martial artist, it means that you are no longer at the bottom of the martial arts world, a nobody. Right now, you have to be careful. Some things should be avoided, as much as possible before you find a way to deal with them. The human heart is unpredictable. Even if everyone has a common enemy, it does not mean that everyone is of one mind. Even when it comes to the catacombs, there are different ways to deal with the enemy. Some advocate attacking forcefully and pacifying a few catacombs. Some advocate delaying time so that the next generation can continue to grow and be more stable. There are also people who advocate communicating and negotiating for peace. In short, there are people who support all kinds of policies. You should know what I mean when I say this. A middle stage rank 3 martial artist with average combat techniques killed a peak rank 3 martial artist. You have to understand how big the gap between middle stage and peak rank 3 is. Even if a peak rank 3 killed a rank 4 martial artist, it might not be as shocking as this. Middle stage and peak rank 3 are 2 different concepts. Do you understand? The next time the rank 3 ranking list is updated, you may enter the list as a middle stage rank 3. This is not a good thing. The tallest tree in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. Therefore, there are some problems that you need to solve as soon as possible. Your instructor may fight for some time for you, but in the name of justice, your instructor can't always help you fight unless you are her son or become her son-in-law. Unfortunately, your instructor's daughter has passed away. Of course, you can also consider marrying your instructor. Fong Ping was dumbfounded. F***CK. What F***CK? How dare you say something like that? Am I crazy, or do I want to die now? Snake King is still alive. Also, how old is Lu Fengru? She's more than 50. Is old Wang jealous of my excellence and trying to send me to my death? How dare he say such an evil suggestion? Wang Jinyang sipped his coffee slowly and said lightly, "Of course, it's just a thought. Don't look at me like that. Who knows, you might succeed." He. Well, Brother Wang, you can try. I'm not in danger. Why should I make things difficult for myself? Wang Jinyang said matter-of-factly. The corner of Fong Ping's mouth twitched uncontrollably. So you can say such irresponsible things? Wang Jinyang did not dwell on this topic. He said, "Actually, it's not that big of a deal. You won't have to die. We'll just cut some flesh, cut some bones, draw some blood, and even extract some brain matter. Maybe the government will put in a lot of effort to nurture a genius like you. What's there to be afraid of?" Sarcasm. It was easy for him to say that, and he was purposely provoking him. Fong Ping's face paled. He gritted his teeth and said, "My bone marrow is complete. That's the truth. Just like you, Brother Wang, when I want to be cut, I'll look for you first." Wang Jinyang said nonchalantly, "Actually, I've had my bone marrow extracted before, but I realized that it's not as good as a grandmaster's. There's not much point in researching it, so I gave up in the end. Maybe the quality of your bone marrow is better. Maybe it'll be useful for reference?" Fong Ping was completely speechless. What was old Wang doing? Chapter 213. Wang Jinyang joked for a while before smiling. "You don't have to worry too much. There are too many unsolved mysteries in this world. Even the catacombs had not been thoroughly studied. Where would they find the time to study you? Of course, you're right under my nose. If there's a chance, I'll study it. Why don't you tell me how your qi and blood recovered so quickly?" Fong Ping said weakly, "Jade bones are naturally formed, bone marrow like mercury, and mentality is comparable to a grandmaster." Really? Fong Ping thought for a moment. Suddenly, he stared at Wang Jinyang with rapt attention. After a while, Fong Ping's face flushed red. One of old Wang's hairs seemed to move slightly. This almost invisible movement caused Wang Jinyang's expression to change. Mental energy. Wang Jinyang suddenly sat up straight, and his expression changed. "Are you kidding me?" He really thought that Fong Ping was teasing him, but he did not plan to ask in detail. He did not expect Fong Ping to actually master the use of mentality. "No, Fong Ping did not know how to use it at all. He was only concentrating his full strength and stirring up his mentality. Fong Ping panted heavily. Do you believe me now? How is this possible? It's not impossible. After all, there are all kinds of people, but Lao Wang seemed to be a little incoherent. After a while, he exhaled and said, Now, it's really interesting. I believe half of what you said, and keep the other half to myself. But in your case, you should be able to deal with it. For a rank 3 martial artist to be able to sense his mentality, and even stir it weakly, this was too surprising. If Fong Ping's bone marrow was as hard as mercury, then if Wang Jinyang was a potential grandmaster, then Fong Ping would be more accurate than him. Fong Ping panted. Actually, I can sense weak energy particles in the energy room. Therefore, I feel that this is really not a big deal. If a grandmaster is really interested, it doesn't matter if they look for me. I'm afraid that if I tell them, they won't believe me. If they force me to tell them why my mental strength is so strong, then I won't be able to do anything. I'm no match for a grandmaster. Wang Jinyang scoffed and said, It's enough to give them a reason. What else do they want? How did the grandmasters become grandmasters? What kind of fortuitous encounters they had? Did they have to share them all? Don't think that the world is too dark. You're not rootless duckweed. In MCMU, if you're forced by a grandmaster to reveal your final secret, don't say that you don't have a secret. So what if you do? Could it be that someone is going to force me to ask why my bone marrow is jade-like? How should I know? If they really force you to do this, then MCMU might as well go bankrupt. The 99 martial arts universities would not tolerate this kind of situation. Dozens of grandmasters were now standing on the students' side. Who would dare to risk universal condemnation and do such a thing? Of course, I'm talking about the surface of the earth. In the catacombs, if you're targeted, captured, interrogated, and then silenced, you can't blame anyone else. Therefore, everything depended on strength. If you were a grandmaster yourself, Wang Jinyang smiled faintly and said, then even if you slash 10,000 times at once and destroy the catacombs with one slash, no one will say a word. I won't ask about the rest. Just think of a way to solve this problem and give everyone a reason. As for the rest, don't worry. Fong Ping nodded slightly, but this lie was not easy to cover. At the very least, his own bone marrow had to be honed to be able to do so. Fong Ping did not continue with the question. Instead, he asked curiously, Brother Wang, everyone says that you're a potential grandmaster. Are you going to break through to grandmaster soon? Grandmaster? Wang Jinyang looked at him strangely. Then he grinned and said, If you sponsor me 3 to 5 billion now, I think there's still hope for me. Cough, cough. Brother Wang, let's have a drink. Fong Ping raised his glass. Are you kidding me? I still want you to sponsor me a few billion, but you're doing the opposite, reaching out your hand to me. Aren't you embarrassed? Wang Jinyang laughed too. He raised his glass and took a sip. After some thought, he said, Your current strength is still lacking a little. At the very least, you have to cultivate your combat techniques to perfection. When you reach upper stage rank 3, your combat techniques can be cultivated to the level of ultimate moves. Even the lowest ultimate move can only achieve a vitality outburst of 300 calories. That's equivalent to a vitality outburst of 700 to 800 cal now. It's almost impossible for those below upper stage rank 3 to achieve. When that time comes, your strength will be considerable. Even in the rank 3 ranking list, you'll be at the top. When that time comes, you'll also have the strength to participate in some high-profit activities. If you're free, I can bring you along. Wang Jinyang smiled meaningfully. You'll be in charge of outbursts and slash his ultimate moves a few hundred times. I'll be in charge of the aftermath. Maybe you can ask Qin Fengqing to be in charge of bringing the others and running away. He's quite good at running away. If you really reach that stage, it won't be difficult for the 3 of us to kill a rank 5. When that time comes, the profits will be considerable. Fong Ping glanced at him. After a while, he smiled and said, We'll see when the time comes. I'm still far from upper stage rank 3 now. Cultivating combat techniques isn't something that can be done overnight. That's true, Wang Jinyang said with some emotion. When I saw you a year ago, I didn't expect you to reach this stage so quickly. It had only been a year. From April last year until now, it had been a little over a year. Back then, he was peak rank 2. As for Fong Ping, his vitality was just a little higher than a normal person's. Now, he could kill a peak rank 3 martial artist. When I arrived at a martial arts university, I found out how strong Brother Wang is after entering rank 4. I didn't expect Brother Wang to improve so quickly. It has something to do with bone marrow lesions. How should I put it? We all have our own opportunities. Right now, Wang Jinyang's attitude toward Fong Ping had also gradually changed. It was a normal change. Dragons do not mingle with snakes. If Fong Ping had just entered rank 1 now, he would be a genius and a prodigy in the eyes of normal people. In Wang Jinyang's eyes, though, he was just average. Rank 1 martial artists in martial arts universities were as numerous as the hairs on a cow. Right now, Fong Ping could kill a peak rank 3 martial artist. This was completely different. In addition, Fong Ping's mentality was not weak. He could also sense that if this kid's bone marrow was really jade-like, then he would advance very quickly in the later stages. A person like this was worthy of his attention. As the two of them chatted, the phone Fong Ping had just bought rang. He glanced at the number. It was a little unfamiliar, but he still picked up. As soon as the call went through, Qin Fengqing's loud voice came from the other side. Fong Ping? It's me, Senior Qin. Yes. In Nanjiang? Yes. It just so happens that the vitality test results from yesterday's martial sciences exam are out. Nanjiang actually has 3 martial artist candidates. Go ask about it later and recruit them. Don't waste them for NMAU. Fong Ping looked at Wang Jinyang strangely. Would Qin Fengqing be beaten to death? Also, why did this guy think of asking him to recruit people? Senior Qin, it's not appropriate for me to go. What's not appropriate about it? You're famous in the championship, and you're a Nanjiang local. You're the most suitable. Besides, aren't you close with that Wang guy? If I find someone else, what if that Wang guy attacks me? Fong Ping, stop nagging. I'm trying to recruit people for us. Understand? I'm about to reach rank 4. Once I'm there, I'll be the president. When that happens, you'll be the vice president. We'll call the shots in MCMU. Recruiting new students now is actually also your team. I'm going to be a senior soon. Once I graduate, the president will be yours. Fong Ping laughed. It was not easy for Qin Fengqing to think so far ahead. Fong Ping was about to speak when Wang Jinyang said quietly, I'm preparing to challenge the martial arts society presidents of each university. I hope you can become the president as soon as possible. Who? Qin Fengqing was stunned. Then, a sound came from the other side of the phone. Soon, Qin Fengqing snorted. Wang guy, have some manners. Is it appropriate to eavesdrop on others? You're loud. There's no need to eavesdrop. Do you think I'm afraid of you now that I've reached rank 4? I'll wait for you. Qin Fengqing did not back down. He snorted and said, Fong Ping, remember, recruit that Nanjiang martial artist to MCMU. NMU wants to compete with us? What a joke. Your opponent is someone from CCMAU. Don't take NMU seriously. I'm hanging up. Qin Fengqing hung up the phone without hesitation. Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. He said helplessly, Brother Wang. Look, Wang Jinyang said indifferently, whatever. Whether they stay in Nanjiang or go to MCMU, it's their choice. These new martial artists are actually of limited use. It's different from last year. Last year, because of the championship, normal martial arts universities had already thought about it and made preparations in advance. That was why they spent a lot of money to recruit martial artist candidates. In this year's championship, the participants are not new. Although it's not confirmed yet, it's most likely the Martial Arts Society will send someone. If that's the case, 1 or 2 new martial artist students will be of limited use unless they're heaven-defying. That's true. Actually, some aspiring martial artists are more malleable after entering the university. I used to think that martial artists in the martial sciences exam were very powerful. Now that I think about it, unless they're twice honed, they might be surpassed by some twice-honed, aspiring martial artists in the later stages. Wang Jinyang chuckled. That's how it is. Of course, twice-honing isn't easy either. We still have to fight for it. How about this? Let's go together tomorrow and talk to someone. It doesn't matter where we go. MCMU's conditions are better than NMEU's. If we really go to MCMU, we might be able to nurture a few powerhouses for Nanjiang in the future. Martial artists had a stronger sense of territory. Nanjiang's martial artists would naturally prioritize Nanjiang. For martial artists like Fang Ping, who were away, if Nanjiang and Magic City met with trouble at the same time, the possibility of returning to Nanjiang was higher. Seeing that it was getting late, the two of them stopped chatting. They found a random hotel to stay in. The next day, Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang arranged to meet at the entrance of NMAU. This time, Fang Ping finally found out that Wang Jinyang had a car too. The physical assessment results just came out yesterday. The 3 martial artists are all in River City now. It's a good time to talk to them all at once. After inviting Fang Ping into the car, Wang Jinyang smiled. Have you prepared for the matter with Zhang Yu? We'll talk about it after we return from the catacombs. If I'm not upper stage rank 3, I'll be beaten up for nothing. When the time comes, I'll hide first. When I'm upper stage rank 3 and have some achievements in combat techniques, I might be able to become the president. Qin Fengqin is also eyeing the president. Maybe he hasn't achieved rank for yet. The two of you will have a fight. We'll see how it goes. But if I really achieve upper stage rank 3, the first person I'll look for will probably be CLA. Whatever, I have plenty of opponents in MCMEU. Unlike you, Brother Wang, whose words carry enormous weight in NMEU. Wang Jinyang smiled without saying a word. 20 minutes later, the car stopped in front of a hotel. Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang stepped inside. Soon, the two of them arrived at a small guest room on the 3rd floor. At this moment, there were not only 3 students in the small guest room, but also their parents. Seeing Wang Jinyang, a few middle-aged men and women quickly stood up and said politely, "President Wang, I didn't expect you to come in person. What a pleasant surprise." Wang Jinyang smiled and said politely. He looked at Fang Ping and said, "Fang Ping from MCMU, representing MCMU." Fang Ping smiled at them. These families that could raise children of martial artists were not ordinary. At least, among the middle-aged men and women in front of him, the strongest had achieved rank 4, and the weakest had the strength of rank 3. They might not even be the strongest in their families. In Nanjiang, this kind of strength was not weak. "I recognize you, MCMU's prodigy. You're also from Nanjiang. Amazing." The parents were enthusiastic, but the students were full of arrogance and did not speak. Fang Ping did not mind. They were a group of students who were already martial artists before entering martial arts university. Moreover, they lived in a place like Nanjiang. It was normal for them to be a little arrogant. There were not many martial artists in Nanjiang who took the Gaokao every year. These people were all Nanjiang's prodigies. After a few polite words, Fang Ping and Wang Jinyang sat down. Fang Ping glanced at the 3 people in front of him, 2 men and 1 woman. He observed their vitality. They were all once-honed martial artists, but they should have broken through with vitality higher than 150 calories. This was not too bad. Wang Jinyang did not stand on ceremony. He said directly, "Nanjiang Martial Arts University has been undergoing reforms these few years. Everyone here is from Nanjiang, so I'm sure you all know about it. Nanjiang Martial Arts University welcomes everyone to join. If martial artist students join NMAU, NMU promises to provide all the pills you need to break through to rank 2 for free. The three of them wanted to wait for him to continue, but Wang Jinyang picked up his teacup and said nothing. Back then, he had promised to give Fong Ping resources for the 3 lower ranks, and Fong Ping was not a martial artist yet. However, Fong Ping was already twice honed at that time. Moreover, Fong Ping was an acquaintance of his. As the president of the Martial Arts Society, he was biased, which was why he had offered such conditions. Seeing that Wang Jinyang did not respond, the few of them were slightly disappointed. They looked at Fong Ping. Fong Ping smiled and said, "If you join MCMAU, the benefits of MCMU won't be reflected in the present. It's a long-term process. Everyone here is a martial artist. I think you all have some understanding. The benefits you get from MCMU are not something Nanjiang can compare to. Of course, the specific choice still depends on everyone's consideration. Whether it's NMU or MCMU, they are both good choices." Fong Ping said a lot, but there were no tangible benefits. At this, the few of them were even more disappointed. One of the boys could not help but say, "Is this how MCMU and NMU treat martial artists?" Fong Ping could not help but laugh. He said lightly, "In MCMU, there are no less than 50 new martial artists in every batch. If you don't have a skill, it's hard to have a chance to show it in MCMU. Everyone's elders are also martial artists. As martial artists, I think you all have some understanding of MCMU. As one of the big 2, MCMU has many instructors and powerhouses. You can read combat techniques at will. The pills are cheap. There are also all kinds of facilities and financial allocations. Choosing MCMAU is not for those little benefits. It's for the long term." Among the 3 of them, the girl suddenly raised her head and said, "Senior Fong, from what you're saying, there are many powerhouses among MCMU students. Of course, MCMU has rank 5 students. Everyone should know what I mean, right? Rank 5. The few of them's expressions changed instantly. Fong Ping continued, "There are also many rank 6 instructors, including peak rank 6 instructors and 4 grandmaster powerhouses. Actually, in my opinion, there's no need for everyone to hesitate. Of course, Nanjiang is our hometown. Under President Wang's leadership, NMU is also striving to improve. I think it's the same no matter where we choose." Everyone's expressions changed again. The girl who asked the question earlier suddenly said, "Senior Fong, how is your ability in MCMAU?" "Me?" Fong Ping smiled. "Among the students, I'm still all right." "Still all right." The few of them did not know what to think. Soon, the girl said, "Then I choose MCMU." The other 2 were also very tempted. Fong Ping did not understand at first. After a while, he seemed to understand something. These people were using him as a benchmark. If Fong Ping could do well in MCMAU, then so could they. Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. These new students were even more arrogant than him. He hoped that once they entered MCMAU, they would not be defeated so quickly. The task of roping in the students was very simple. Soon, both parties had more or less confirmed their intentions. As they walked out of the hotel, Wang Jinyang shook his head lightly. "If these people really enter MCMU, I'm afraid they'll be defeated very quickly. That has nothing to do with me. I'm not even a member of the Martial Arts Society anyway." Fong Ping was just making a trip along the way. As for what the students were thinking, he could not be bothered. This was just a side issue. After the discussion, Fong Ping was about to leave. Before he left, Wang Jinyang suddenly said, "Come back from the catacombs alive. Definitely." Chapter 2:14. Magic City. It was still the Labor Day Golden Week, so There was a lot of traffic at Magic City Station. Fong Ping hailed a cab and went straight to the company. On the way, Fu Changbing called. Fong Ping, the assessment results are out. What's the situation? You scored 800 points. You're ranked first among all examinees. 800 points. Fong Ping was speechless. I remember that a peak rank 3 was worth 1,000 points. Plus, I killed a few rank 3 martial artists. The peak rank 3 wasn't all yours, but some of the people who participated in the attack. The bulk is yours, Fu Changbing explained. Fu Changbing explained. After all, many people were injured in the siege against the Grand Missionary. Fong Ping did not elaborate further. He asked, what about the rewards? Does 800 points mean 800 credits? I can only say that you're overthinking it. They didn't say the specifics. They'll announce it when we get back to school. Don't be so greedy. I only got 120 points. Fu Changbing was helpless. Someone else on the other end of the line was even more helpless. Yang Xiaoman said loudly, I only got 95 points. I didn't even get the basic points. This time, everyone had cut corners. The points for killing rank 1 martial artists were pitifully low. There were a limited number of rank 2 martial artists, so it took a few people to get 1 rank 2. At this point, a large number of students were not satisfied with their basic points. Fong Ping smiled and did not dwell on the points. He asked, are you guys back? No. Nanjiang's Governor Zhang wants to receive us today. Fong Ping, where are you? A grandmaster coming to receive us is a great honor. The fact that Zhang Dingnan could still find time to receive these students meant that the evil sect issue was coming to an end. Whether the evil sect's 3 high-ranked martial artists were dead or alive, or if they had escaped, Fong Ping could not be bothered to care. He had to worry about things that were more important than he was capable of. Right now, he did not have the qualifications to get involved in Grandmaster's affairs. As for the reception that Fu Changbing mentioned, Fong Ping knew what Zhang Dingnan meant. He smiled. Yes, today, you've given us face. If Nanjiang is in trouble in the future, you won't be able to reject us, right? A Grandmaster powerhouse, who was also the local governor, warmly received a group of rank 2 and 3 student martial artists. When Nanjiang was in danger and asked for help, these people would more or less appreciate it. Zhang Dingnan's shrewdness in doing this kind of profitable business was not ordinary. Perhaps Nanjiang also needed a governor like this. Zhang Dingnan was preparing for a rainy day. Now, he was roping in various forces. When Nanjiang encountered a great crisis, the martial artists who would come to their aid would count. After chatting with Fu Changbing for a while, Fong Ping hung up. Not long after he hung up, he received another message on his phone. Chen Yunqi's 5 million had been transferred to his account. With the 5 million yuan in his account, the resurrection pills that Fong Ping had swallowed earlier were automatically recognized as his assets. According to the contract price, the resurrection pill was priced at 6 million. Obviously, it was tacitly accepted by the system. The next moment, Fong Ping's wealth increased by 2. 6 million, reaching more than 14. 6 million. He also had 25 million in cash. The gap is still huge. Fong Ping sighed softly. Right now, he needed to reach at least 100 million wealth points before the system had any hope of upgrading. Whether it could even level up was a problem. The gap was too big. In addition, my weapon is damaged, and I'm afraid my boots can't be used anymore. The Feng's widow also needs to be repaired. Sigh. This mission is really a big loss. Fong Ping grew more and more gloomy. He arrived at the company with this gloomy mood. Prosperity building. At distance, there were more and more people, and the atmosphere was more tense and lively than before. In April, because of Fong Ping's 20 million transfer, distance began to expand throughout Magic City. Now, although it could not be said to have penetrated every corner of Magic City, At least they could see the shadows of Distance's express delivery workers in the entire city. As soon as Fong Ping arrived, some of the employees who knew him greeted him respectfully. Fong Ping nodded slightly and went straight to Li Cheng's office. In the office, Li Chengza was on the phone. When he saw Fong Ping enter, he said a few words hurriedly, hung up and said, "Mr. Fong, you're here?" "Yes. How's the situation now?" Magic City's 6 districts have been set up and are starting to accept business. The results are not bad, and we have a bit of a reputation, but it's still developing. That's not what I'm asking. I mean, is there anyone interested in our company? Li Chengza heard this and nodded. Yes. Last time, you said that if there's anyone interested, we can talk. That's why we've always been welcoming to those companies that want to receive financing. But there aren't many institutions and enterprises that are willing to invest. Some people are asking for an exorbitant price, asking for 30% of our shares for $10 million. Haven't you met anyone that's more reliable? Li Chengza thought for a while and said, "Currently, there are a few companies that are really interested. Have you heard of this website called Popular Reviews, Mr. Fong?" "Yes. They're very interested in our FNB platform, but the other party proposed to acquire it." Li Chengza continued. "After I explicitly rejected it, the other party proposed a partnership. What they mean is that our FNB platform will merge with them and become their sub-website, a secondary website entrance. The other party valued us at $50 million, and they hope to distribute it with Popular shares. In other words, if we integrate with Popular, you can hold their shares." Fong Ping shook his head. "I won't consider this suggestion. What use do I have for those shares? I know their boss. He's too artistic. It's more like Popular merging with us. Other than them, there are a few other internet companies that have also expressed interest. Do you want to discuss further? What about venture capital institutions?" Li Chengza frowned slightly. Recently, venture capital institutions, including those around the world, have been much more restrained. The intensity of their investments has been reduced. I don't know why, but they're much more cautious than before. Fong Ping frowned. He guessed that it might be caused by the deterioration of the catacombs. These institutions were all started by martial artists. With the deterioration of the catacomb situation, these institutions were probably in a wait-and-see phase. The catacombs had not affected the normal operation of the world's economy yet. After all, the mainstream business still served ordinary people. However, if the situation worsened again, it would affect the real world. At this time, it was only right for the major institutions to rein in. Investing in the future also depended on the future situation. If the situation was not clear, these institutions would not dare to recklessly invest in enterprises with long returns. How troublesome! Fong Ping cursed. This way, the situation on his side was much worse. After all, FNB and express delivery were not the kind of enterprises that could get quick returns. Not a single one is interested. There are, but their prices are average. What's the highest? The highest is currently valued at $55 million. There's no way to go higher. I've invested almost $40 million, Fong Ping cursed in a low voice. He tapped the table lightly, thought for a while, and said, then continued to expand. Also, Distance needs to raise its reputation. The situation hasn't deteriorated to this point yet. Li Chengza did not quite understand what he meant. Fong Ping, on the other hand, felt that it was still a peaceful period. In the short term, the deterioration of the catacombs would not be too obvious. The grandmasters were still busy with their own things. This meant that the situation was still under control. When the day came when the grandmasters no longer cared about business or politics and all gathered in the catacombs, that would be the real deterioration. We can continue to negotiate with whichever company values us at more than $100 million. If it's less than $100 million, ignore it, Fong Ping said, and added, also, now that the domestic 3G has been launched, some 3G phones have started going online. Invest more in the mobile side. Understood. How are you? What's your vitality now? 145 calories. I should be able to reach the threshold of a martial artist soon. Strive to become a martial artist as soon as possible. It's early May now. I hope to complete the first round of financing in June. It's nothing more than hype. Put more effort in this area and give enough gimmicks. Things like the first F&B 020 enterprise, the first online F&B platform that accepts martial artist meals, the first, Fong Ping wanted to say, the first takeout food delivery company to and from the catacombs. Believe it or not, I will send fast food to martial artists training in the catacombs in the future. Martial artists are so pitiful. In the catacombs, it's hard to even eat. Most of the time, they're popping pills. So, what if the catacombs get worse? It'll get even better. Fong Ping only had to think about it. When Fong Ping thought about martial artists in the catacombs fighting to the death with catacombs creatures, a delivery boy suddenly appeared and said loudly, "Pause. Your takeout is here. Call again after you've eaten. TSK, TSK." This scene was beautiful just thinking about it. Li Qingze obviously did not understand why Fong Ping was laughing. He was a little confused. Fong Ping ignored him and gave him a few more reminders. Finally, he reminded him again to complete the first round of financing as soon as possible before June. McMao. MCMU seemed to be much quieter now. In reality, this was just Fong Ping's illusion. MCMU had always been like this. It was just that most of the people he was familiar with were not in school now, so it seemed even quieter. Walking to the dormitory, Fong Ping saw that the doors of the nearby rooms were tightly shut. Lonely, lonely, Fong Ping murmured. Martial artists had to endure loneliness. He did not know who had told him this before. He had told Fu Changbing that martial artists should not be too close to each other. He had said it in a straightforward manner. When he was really waiting for someone, Fong Ping felt that it was too quiet. It was only after Fong Yuan's call that the feeling of loneliness dissipated a lot. Fong Ping, where have you been these few days? Why can't I get through to you on the phone? My phone is broken. I got a new one. Oh, right. Mom asked me to ask you if you're coming home next month. Next month? Yeah. Have you forgotten? What? I'm going to take my senior high school entrance examination. Fong Yuan said coquettishly, "You didn't even say that you're coming home to take the exam. You're not responsible at all." Fong Ping burst out laughing. Only then did he remember this. He said with a smile, "What do you mean Mom asked you to ask me? Just ask yourself. When is your senior high school entrance examination?" Middle of June, 17th and 18th. You're really something, calling more than a month in advance. Fong Ping said, amused, "It depends. I might go back." This depended on the schedule of the catacombs. If he went to the catacombs after that, he could go back. Before that, Fong Ping might have to be absent. Fong Yuan was slightly disappointed when she heard Fong Ping's uncertain answer. Fong Ping did not say that he would not come back, though, so she did not dwell on it. Fong Ping, my vitality has reached 130 calories. Amazing, right? Fong Yuan said proudly again. The physical assessment for this year's martial sciences examination had just ended, and the vitality threshold was now announced. Compared to last year, the number of applicants had increased greatly. In the past, it was considered good if there were 1 million applicants in the country. This year, the number was as high as 3 million. Every martial arts university would enroll more students this year. Similarly, the baseline had been raised by a lot. This year, the physical assessment threshold alone was as high as 115 calories. If one really wanted to get into a martial arts university, they would probably need to have a vitality of 120 calories. That was a few cal higher than last year. Fong Ping was only in grade 9, but his vitality was as high as 130 calories. The girl had been feeling smug for a few days. She took the opportunity to show off to Fong Ping. 130 calories. Fong Ping was a little dazed. After a while, he said, I saw a few martial arts candidates just now. I didn't even think much of them. And you're showing off your 130 calories vitality to me? Round face, aren't you thinking too much? Humph. Stop snorting. Your brother is already rank 3 now. Maybe he'll be a grandmaster soon. Work harder. Don't embarrass me. Girl, this world is more dangerous than you think. At the end of this year, or next year, Nanjiang might not be safe. Fong Ping mentioned it. After some thought, he said, Forget it. Let's not talk about this. We'll talk about it when the time comes. If the entrance to the catacombs appeared in Nanjiang, it would not be strange for it to appear in Sun City. At that time, I'll have to find an excuse to bring my parents and sister to Magic City. Fong Ping pondered for a moment. Magic City and Capital City were probably the safest places. There were many grandmasters in both places. If he mentioned it now, his parents would definitely not be willing. The older generation would not be used to leaving their homes and living in other places. Maybe I should buy a house in Magic City. Even if the catacombs crisis comes, Magic City's industries won't depreciate. On the contrary, when that time comes, as MCMAU's headquarters and Sino Nation's economic center, Magic City will be the first choice for people from other places to escape. When that time comes, Magic City's industries will probably keep rising. They might even implement an entry system. As Fong Ping thought about this, he realized that there were still many things he needed to spend money on. He felt a splitting headache. There were many things he needed to spend money on. He wanted to save up his wealth to upgrade the system, and he wanted to increase his combat strength. There was not enough to spend anywhere. I really want to steal a grandmaster. Maybe if I steal Lu Fengru, I'll be rich. Fong Ping's imagination ran wild. He reminded his sister again, don't be proud. I'll try to go back for the senior high school entrance examination. I'm hanging up now. Okay. Fong Yuan was still thinking about her brother's words. She was a little distracted. Danger? What danger? Should they develop more members and increase the number of Yuan Ping Club members? There was strength in numbers. After all, Fong Ping naturally did not know what Fong Yuan was thinking. After hanging up, Fong Ping thought about it and went straight to the logistics department. The platform had been operating for so long. The school and students had enjoyed the convenience. It was time for him to reap the rewards. Chapter 215. A few minutes later, Old Manly frowned. You want a cut? Fong Ping explained. It's not a commission. What I mean is that the platform will offer some discount activities to stimulate people's spending. Otherwise, if we keep the credits, everyone will have enough credits, and no one will have the motivation. Old Manly curled his lips and said, It's not exciting. They're also consumers. Fong Ping said earnestly, Teacher, do you know how to do business? If he were to give some discounts on pills and give some activities, everyone would definitely be tempted to buy them. The school could even start a credit loan model, giving loans to everyone and collecting interest, causing everyone to be heavily in debt. When that time comes, think about it. If you owe the school credits, how could you not work hard to complete the missions? If it's open to rank 3 martial artists, I think these people will be more motivated to enter the catacombs. They're burdened with debt, and the interest is still rising. How can they not work hard to earn credits? The school should motivate everyone. Right now, everyone was using every credit they had. To be honest, there was no motivation. If worst comes to worst, I won't buy it. It's fine if I cultivate slowly, but if you do some activities and promotions, then I guarantee that even the laziest martial artists will be motivated. If they owed more credits, everyone would be under more pressure. Only when there was pressure would there be motivation. NMAU is undergoing reforms, yet MCMAU is actually living off its past achievements. Teacher, the seniors are graduating now. With our school's current situation, can we still produce rank 5 students? How shameful. At this time, by letting rank 3 and 4 martial artists borrow credits in advance. Not only could everyone equip themselves in advance, but it would also speed up the pace of improvement. Once they had the strength, they could go down to the catacombs to earn money to repay their debts. This was a virtuous cycle. In MCMU, as big as MCMU was, there was actually no one who thought of stimulating everyone. They just wanted everyone to train hard. However, without money and credits, how could they train? If you borrow it in advance, everyone will have the strength. Even if you don't rush them, they will still cultivate diligently. Old Man Lee was deep in thought. He mumbled, "That makes sense. It doesn't seem to make sense. It's extremely reasonable. Think about it. What's the difference between a martial artist and an ordinary person? Are people with huge mortgages more hardworking than those who are debt-free? If they don't work hard, they won't be able to pay their mortgage." Old Man Lee muttered, "What if something happens halfway?" Fong Ping's expression turned serious as he said, "Instructor, if I really die in the catacombs and can't pay back my credits, I think the school should take responsibility for this." Do you wish for them to die in the catacombs? Did they wish to die in the catacombs? If he really died, he would have died. For humanity. Was it really appropriate to be fussing over this at this time? What was the purpose of MCMU's existence? It was to provide an opportunity and venue for everyone to become stronger. During this experiential learning, I realized that MCMU students actually performed very poorly. Why? It was because everyone was not very enthusiastic and lacked a certain level of motivation. If at that time each of us was burdened with a huge debt, I think we would have performed better, and those who were leeching would not have leeched anymore. Old Man Lee rolled his eyes. He said it as if it was the truth. After some thought, Old Man Lee asked, "What about your benefits?" I serve everyone. What benefits can I get?" Hee. Fong Ping was speechless. He thought for a while and said, "What I'm thinking is for the school to give me a unified discount price, and I'll organize a platform for activities. Also, I'll help the school open a credit loan platform and conduct a qualification review. This will save the school some trouble. Everything will be done by the platform. All the school has to do is grant us a certain credit quota. I guarantee that in this way, very soon, MCMU will have a group of mission maniacs, the kind that takes the initiative, not forced. How about a C-class weapon? Do you want to get it in advance? How about a high-ranked pill? Do you want to consume it in advance? The energy room, the vitality pool. Do you want to cultivate their daily? Anything is fine. Just borrow credits. I'll even suggest that some of the rank 6 instructors in the school, including the grandmasters, start a service called Martial Arts Consultation for a certain amount of credits. Let the dean and the others take some time out and give everyone a small opportunity to listen to the grandmaster's guidance. This kind of opportunity, this kind of honor, will motivate everyone to work even harder. Let the students take the initiative to fight for it, and not let the school supervise them all the time. They even have to give out credits as rewards every time. Only then will everyone be motivated. The atmosphere in MCMU is not very good now. Everyone is only doing it because they see the benefits. Old Man Lee ridiculed. This sentence is most suitable for you. Fong Ping was speechless. He immediately said, "All right, let's talk about me. If I owed the school a few thousand credits now, do you think I would still be passively waiting for the school to arrange missions for me? I'm afraid I'd be doing missions to repay my debt a long time ago." That makes sense. That's why the school should reward me. Really, I'm thinking about MCMU wholeheartedly. The new students are about to enter the school. Now that the situation is so tense, we don't have so much time to waste. Let the new students take the initiative to fight for it, to snatch it, to risk their lives, instead of waiting for them to grow slowly. Old Man Lee was somewhat convinced. He tapped the table lightly and said, "You're quite smart. Maybe this model can be popularized in all martial arts universities." Fong Ping's eyes lit up. He said, "Instructor, Actually, my idea is to let martial arts universities integrate and exchange instead of fighting on their own now, open up a unified platform, and even let students from other schools buy MCMU resources, including renting our vitality pool and energy room. Of course, the fees will be higher than for MCMU students. Also, instructors have their own specialties. Our instructors will always have some areas that they're not good at, but instructors from other schools might be able to do it. At this time, we can also use the instructor's guidance as a rental business. It sounds tacky, but this way martial artists will no longer be limited to a martial arts university's small circle, but will be integrated into the big circle of martial arts universities. Old Manley frowned. I'm afraid it'll be a little difficult. I know, but there's hope, isn't there? Instructor, do you think there's hope if distance does it? There is. Old Manley nodded. The prerequisite is that you have enough strength. Also, if you really want to do this, I'm afraid the platform can't be handed over to you alone. The school will have to participate in the formulation of the rules. That's definitely not a problem. I can't wait for that to happen. Actually, all I want is for martial arts universities to become stronger and more prosperous. We martial artists are not a group that's separated from society. We shouldn't let society adapt to us, but we should adapt to society. We must keep up with the times and not be out of touch with society. Stop, Old Manley muttered. You said that we'll give the platform a certain discount. How much? 90% of the current price. Old Manley frowned. MCMU's pills and weapons are not for profit. Actually, using credits to exchange, the school is subsidizing them. Fong Ping nodded. I know. These pills and weapons are different from other goods. They're not sold in quantity, but they're scarce resources. But the school is benefiting the students now, not outsiders. What's the purpose of the students becoming stronger? It's to enter the catacombs and protect humanity. What's the harm in subsidizing a little more? Moreover, if we start a loan business, it'll be the same. We'll collect interest, and these subsidized things will be taken back in disguise. The price that the students have to pay is actually the same. The only change is that they can spend in advance. This is a bigger matter. I'll have to discuss it with the other people in the school. I can't promise you directly. Instructor, let's not delay. Let's go look for the dean now. Is the dean around? Yes, as soon as Old Manley finished speaking, Fong Ping pulled him out. Old Manley did not know whether to laugh or cry. This kid was in such a hurry. He would not believe that there were no benefits even if he was beaten to death. 10 minutes later, Huang Jing's office. Huang Jing muttered, It's doable, but you put it nicely, fighting for the welfare of all the students. But when the time comes, if you don't give everyone such a big discount and fill your own pockets, you won't be able to bear the responsibility. Dean, don't worry. I guarantee that everyone will feel like they're taking advantage of you. And in reality, they're really taking advantage of you. Fong Ping said confidently, just wait and see. If MCMU really implements this policy first, we'll be able to surpass CCMU soon. Ha, you're talking big. I believe you. Huang Jing did not say much. He looked at him and said, Don't put your heart and soul into these things. Don't fall behind in your cultivation. Yes, I know what's important. Also, I've recently realized that my mentality is very active. Dean, I suspect that doing business can stimulate the growth of mentality. Fong Ping's solemn expression stunned Huang Jing and Old Manley for a moment. At this time, Fong Ping mustered up his strength again. He only wanted to move the dean's hair. As he was thinking, Huang Jing's eyes suddenly moved. Fong Ping only felt an overwhelming pressure in front of him. In an instant, Fong Ping's head was covered in sweat. This is interesting. Huang Jing mumbled, Is it really a mistake to blindly cultivate? You're a rank 3 martial artist. Mentality can actually sense, and it's even in an active state. Old Man Li was also shocked. After a while, he said, Could this be the reason why the governors in politics and those in the business world broke through? Currently, for martial artists in the three middle ranks, there was no specific cultivation method on how to grow mentality and how to sense it. Everyone could only rely on experience and time to grind it out. Huang Jing thought for a moment and said, maybe there's some truth to it. Whether it's in business or politics, the brain is used a lot. The brain is always in an active state. Maybe this is the reason why mentality improved. Of course, it doesn't seem too obvious now. In our eyes, outstanding businessmen and politicians are all powerhouses. It's the powerhouses who come to do business and politics, not because they become stronger. However, looking at it from another perspective, it might not be unreasonable. Vice Chancellor Wu's rapid breakthrough might not have nothing to do with him being busy all the time, but if that's the case, then what the sect said about being in closed-door cultivation, old man Li's eyes moved slightly. There are only a few grandmasters in the sect, and they're all old. Now, there are many grandmasters in the business and politics world. There are even more than in the military department. As old man Li spoke, he suddenly said, Dean, look, let me get a title and do more things. What do you think? What do you want to do? Be in charge of the school's businesses. Huang Jing was speechless. After a while, he said, Old Li, the school's assets are earned through everyone's hard work. The little subsidies from the government are not enough for the students. About this, I think we should forget about it. Leave some assets for the school. Old man Li's face was black. What did he mean? Fong Ping was so happy that his face had turned purple. The dean did not leave any leeway when he attacked people. Old man Li let out a humph. After a while, he said, no matter what, it's still necessary to be active. Otherwise, if the logistics department's missions are all taken by this kid, this old man will really have to sleep forever. Huang Jing nodded and agreed. Actually, I've also realized that it's really rare to break through to Grandmaster through constant hard work. Maybe this is what the ancients call worldly experience. Whether it's doing business or politics or even going to the catacombs, it's all a kind of experience. It trains the heart and the ways of the world. After saying that, Huang Jing looked at Fong Ping and said, I didn't notice this before. Are you sure it's because doing business has made your mentality active? Of course, Fong Ping was not sure, but he felt that Huang Jing's explanation was very complete. At this moment, he nodded hurriedly and said, It's true. Every time I think about how the business is not doing well, my head hurts. When my head hurts, I have to think of ways to change it. Then my brain becomes especially active and my mentality becomes concentrated. Is that so? Even Huang Jing, a grandmaster powerhouse, was being tricked into believing him. It was not that Fong Ping was good at tricking, but when he linked it to the truth, Huang Jing could vaguely feel it. Before this, everyone's thinking had fallen into the wrong direction. Only if you are strong can you take on this position and make your business bigger. Who would have thought that it was because your position was high and your business was bigger that you became stronger? Huang Jing took a deep breath and said, All right then, I'll talk to the school about your matter. As for the loan credits that you mentioned, I don't think there's a need to charge any interest, Fong Ping disagreed. Dean, it's still necessary to put some pressure on the students appropriately. The interest isn't about the amount, but it's about telling everyone that they can't reap without working hard. Only by working hard will they be rewarded. This is in line with the definition of a martial artist. We'll do as you say then. Thank you for your support, Dean. Also, I have a small suggestion. Do you think that as the operating platform, Ping Yuan Club, can you give us some benefits? The teachers have seen it too. Everyone is working hard to serve the students. Even if there's no merit, there's still hard work, Fong Ping said quickly. For example, the school can give us a certain amount of free credit loans. This amount can be controlled by the platform itself. Whether it's rewarding students or some outstanding students, it can be controlled. The school would not suffer any losses from this. Huang Jing's original idea was to not charge interest. Huang Jing glanced at Fang Ping and could not help but laugh. Sure, but this will put a lot of pressure on you. Fang Ping looked doubtful, but Huang Jing did not say anything more. He waved his hand and said, "Go out. I'll give you an answer as soon as possible." "Thank you, Dean." As soon as he left, Huang Jing squinted his eyes and smiled. He's actually snatching the martial arts society's functions now. And this kid still has an ignorant attitude. If the school really gives an answer, he and the martial arts society will become competitors. Old Li, do you think the martial arts society will be satisfied? Old man Li said indifferently, "Isn't this what the school wants to see? The martial arts society is the only big club, and there's no pressure to compete anymore. The martial arts society of another school is, after all, another school. MCMU still needs another student club to compete with the martial arts society. This kid is improving fast, and he's still a freshman. There's still a lot of room for development. If he's given enough time to build a club that can compete with the martial arts society, it's not impossible. As long as he doesn't have to take charge of 2 clubs at the same time, there's no problem. In my opinion, he should be his own president and let Xiele take over Zhangyu. This way, the 2 of them will have a few more years to compete with each other. Xiele's improvement isn't slow either. He can just barely keep up and not be left behind. He might not be willing." Huang Jing laughed. Old man Li snorted and smiled faintly. "You think you don't have any ideas? It's such a simple thing. Just find an excuse, and this kid will slip away. He's not willing to do it. For example, let him lead a team to go out for exchanges, become the president of the Martial Arts Society, and hand over the platform he runs to the Martial Arts Society with his personality. How can he be willing? He can't wait to be thrown out like a hot potato. He should be thankful that the school didn't force him to be the president of the Martial Arts Society." Huang Jing laughed and nodded. "That's true." After a pause, Huang Jing continued, "His bone marrow hasn't been honed. Oh, his mentality hasn't reached the point where he can extract energy particles. So what?" Old man Li said. Huang Jing was slightly stunned and suddenly laughed. "Yes, so what? Everyone has their own destiny. If it could be popularized, I think most people wouldn't choose to hide it. With his temper, if it could be popularized, perhaps he would have used it to exchange terms with the school." Old man Li smiled faintly. "That's for sure, especially now. He's obviously feeling the pressure, but he keeps trying to prove that he's not relying on anything else but talent. This is enough to prove that he can't popularize these things. The human body is the most complicated, unless you really dissect it. Otherwise, the possibility of finding any abnormalities is extremely low. It's either a brain mutation or a physical mutation. In recent years, this kind of mutation is not uncommon. Since the gradual integration with the catacombs, there have been more cases like this, including NMAU's Wang Jinyang, CCMU's Li Hansong, the military department's Yao Qingjun. These people, without exception, have some physical mutations. Wang Jinyang's bone marrow has turned jade-like. Li Hansong's natural cranial honing was completed, and Yao Qingjuan's mentality was also released at rank. For all of these people have some grandmaster characteristics. What Fang Ping has now is also a grandmaster characteristic. His vitality is replenishing rapidly. I don't think there's a need to look into it." Huang Jing could not help but laugh. "It's good that you know. Don't tell him. I've been paying attention to him for some time. We need to give him some pressure. Without pressure, where will he get motivation? Look at him, how eager he is now. He said to give others pressure, so we should give him some pressure too. It's very appropriate. Maybe he'll be the next grandmaster. We have to force him a little." Old man Li grinned. "That's true. We still have to scare him from time to time. Later, we'll send him to the Research Institute to see how they dissect the catacombs humans. TSK, TSK. This kind of feeling, I think he'll be very motivated to become a grandmaster quickly. Huang Jing laughed. Old man Li's idea was good. Send Fong Ping to the research institute to see how they dissect a catacombs human who was no different from a human. Then tell him that this was a human mutation. Huang Jing could even imagine that kid's face would be pale with fear, his mind filled with the idea of becoming stronger, so that he could be safe. How could this kind of idea of actively becoming stronger be better than being passive? The two old men looked at each other and smiled in satisfaction. Teaching according to the students' aptitude was the school's goal. This was how they should treat Fong Ping. Fong Ping, who had just left the dean's office, heard laughter coming from not far away. He suddenly shivered. The two old men are talking about me? I feel like I'm being schemed against. Chapter 216. MCMU's efficiency had always been astonishing. The next day, Fong Ping received a reply from the university. In principle, they approved Fong Ping's proposal to set up a credit loan system. Of course, it was not unlimited. Credits were free, but resources were limited. Every year, the school would provide a loan limit of 100,000 credits, and the value of 100,000 credits when converted into material goods was as high as 3 billion. Fong Ping had to pay a price for the platform set up by the students to provide such a high loan limit. Firstly, Lu Fengru and old man Li had to vouch for him. Secondly, if Fong Ping met with an accident, the school had the right to take over the platform instead of letting his family continue to take over. Thirdly, in the annual settlement, the school would not pursue the matter if the loss rate was within 5%, but if the loss rate was exceeded, Distance Platform would be responsible for the loss. Fourth, all in all, the school had given him a lot of restrictions. This included checking the accounts at any time, including whether the credits had really been loaned to the students and not by Fong Ping himself. MCMU even sent people to supervise. The platform was gradually moving on the right track. It was no longer an errand company that was only responsible for delivering goods. As for the loan interest, it would be determined by Distance Platform and reported to the school. The school would then approve the loan, and the interest would belong to the school. Distance Platform could charge a 10% interest management fee. Being stingy was not MCMU's style. Giving Distance a 10% interest management fee was not considered much in MCMU's opinion. Interest. The school did not expect to take advantage of the students. It was just to make up for the possible bad debts. The credits and money would eventually flow into the hands of the students. MCMU felt that 10% was not much, but Fong Ping was calculating how much interest he should charge. As for something like a daily interest rate of 5%, of course, that would not work. MCMU would not allow Fong Ping to charge such a high rate. If converted, the annual interest rate would reach 18%. But a daily interest rate of 3% sounded extremely low, and the annual interest rate was already more than 10%. 10% a year. If I do it to the limit, I'll be able to earn at least 10,000 credits a year. 10% of the platform's credits would be more than 1,000 credits. In fact, the school consolidates once a year, and during this period, there's too much room for manipulation. This includes the interest from short-term loans, which can be converted into principal again. If we manage it well, we can earn a few thousand credits in a year. Logistics Department. Fong Ping calculated in his mind for a while. His eyes were glowing. A few thousand credits meant tens of millions, or even hundreds of millions. For a small MCMU, how much was the platform's operating fee? Thinking of this, Fong Ping asked softly, "Teacher, do you think 3/10,000ths of the daily interest rate is high?" 3 out of 10,000? Old man, Li was still calculating the interest rate. Fong Ping said quickly, "It's very low, right? An average student would be at most able to borrow 100 credits. and they would only receive 0.03 credits of interest per day. To be honest, this was an extremely low interest rate. Even after a month, they would only receive less than 1 credit. However, if he could obtain 100 credits a month earlier, he might be able to advance from rank 2 to rank 3. What was 1 credit worth in a month's time? Teacher, don't you think so? Old Manly muttered. It's not that high. This is equivalent to the school investing 3 billion yuan in resources in advance, but I believe that this 3 billion yuan is definitely worth it. Perhaps after a year, MCMU would have more than 10 rank 3 and 4 students. He had made a great contribution to mankind. Moreover, these resources would not disappear into thin air. At the end of the year, they would return to the school. This would form a virtuous cycle. Not only would the school not suffer any losses, but it would also gain a good reputation among the students. Old Manly looked at him without saying a word. Fong Ping smiled again. Teacher, about the platform discount. The school wants to maintain the current price. MCMU's pills and weapons are limited. If you do this, won't that be... Teacher, the school is so short-sighted. Let me ask you, where do the pills come from? Old Man Li was stunned for a moment. He thought for a while and said, part of the main materials come from the catacombs. Isn't that right? The students consume a lot and improve quickly. Don't they all have to go down to the catacombs to fight? This way, the materials will naturally be replenished. As he said that, Fong Ping asked again, where do the alloy weapons come from? Some of them also come from the catacombs. It's the same principle. Moreover, forging alloy weapons requires manpower, right? In MCMU, weapons are usually not manufactured in batches, but manually forged. The School of Production students are mainly responsible for it. However, the School of Production students are usually not very enthusiastic about participating in these things. In the school, they think more about which company they will enter in the future. However, if they carry a huge debt now, they will take the initiative to work. This is the principle, right? You're saying that's why the school is worried about not having enough resources. It's completely pointless. The more they consume, the stronger they become, the more they can earn. In the end, the wool still comes from the sheep, not the school. I'll ask again later. Remember to take care of this on your side. If there really is a loss of 100,000 credits, it's not a matter of credits. Kid, when that time comes, even if you sell yourself, you won't be able to afford it. Be prepared to work for the school for free. Fong Ping disapproved. He pursed his lips and said, unless the people who borrow money all die in battle. When that time comes, Earth will probably be conquered. Who cares about this? Old Man Li was speechless. What he said made sense. If the students died in battle, would there still be hope for humanity with this kind of mortality rate? If that was the case, this kid had never thought about the problem of compensating the school. For a moment, Old Man Li fell into deep thought. Seeing this, Fong Ping said, Instructor, I'll go back first. Also, I'll have to trouble you this time. Don't worry, I won't let you take the blame for the guarantee. I, Fong Ping, am not that kind of person. Old Man Li nodded woodenly. Fong Ping had already said that he would not compensate. How could he take the blame? Seeing that Fong Ping was about to leave, Old Man Li suddenly said, after a few days, I'll bring you somewhere. Where? A good place. You can see many things there. Take the opportunity before entering the catacombs to go there. It'll be helpful for you. Fong Ping was overjoyed. He quickly said, Thank you, Instructor. Instructor, do you have a granddaughter? Old Man Li glanced at him. After a while, he said faintly, Get lost now. Or else, before he finished speaking, Fong Ping was already out of sight. Outside the logistics department, Fong Ping shook his head and sighed. Am I not learning from old Wang? Look at old Wang. He's so good at flattering. The instructor's daughter is still so young, but he's already bringing her along as a child bride. Old Man Lee was a peak rank 6. If he flattered well, when he became a grandmaster one day, he would be rich too. He took out his phone and called Li Chengze, telling him about the platform loan. Actually, this was simple. Now, it was targeted at MCMU students. How many people did MCMU have? The school had the students' information records. They just needed to add some functions to the platform. It could be done in a few days. Too bad that the borrowed money is not counted as wealth. Otherwise, if I borrowed 3,000 credits now, my wealth would be over 100 million. Fong Ping felt slightly regretful. Otherwise, even if he had to open the back door, he would still get some credits for himself. As he was talking to himself, Fong Ping saw a few buses stop not far away. Nanjiang's team had returned. Fong Ping. As soon as Tang Feng got off the bus, he saw Fong Ping turning around to run. He shouted softly, "Come here." Fong Ping had no choice but to walk over slowly. "Who allowed you to leave early? You're disorganized and undisciplined," Tang Feng reprimanded and said, "Don't come to the logistics department if you have nothing better to do. Don't make things difficult for Old Man Lee. I heard that you often take advantage of the logistics department. If word gets out and everyone asks for it, how will Old Man Lee deal with it?" Fong Ping said sheepishly, "My trading volume is huge. You still can't make things difficult for Old Man Lee. The exchange price set by the school can't be changed by Old Man Lee alone. To tell you the truth, some of the shortfalls are personally subsidized by Old Man Lee. Don't think that everyone in the world is stupid just because you're smart." Fong Ping opened his mouth, but he did not know what to say. Tang Feng snorted softly. "All right, as long as you know what to do. We'll gather at the building of practical training later." Oh, Fong Ping was a little listless. Did Old Man Lee subsidize him? He thought that Old Man Lee was in charge of the logistics department. So, he was shockingly powerful and rich. After Tang Feng left, the others also got off the bus. Fu Changding walked over and whispered, "Let's meet Zhao Lei tonight." Zhao Lei also walked over. When he heard that, his face darkened, and he looked at Fu Changding coldly. Fong Ping was already a middle-stage rank 3. He was no match for him. Fu Changding, on the other hand, this guy was asking for a beating. Fong Ping ignored him and temporarily put aside the words he had just said. He thought for a while and whispered, "Does anyone need credits?" "Duh. I'm saying if I lend everyone credits right now. 100 or 200 credits won't be a problem. Would you be willing to lend them to me?" As soon as he said that, everyone looked at Fong Ping simultaneously. Martial artists had sharp ears and eyes. At that moment, almost everyone heard what he said. Seeing that, Fong Ping said, "Of course, I'm just giving an example. It's not me who wants to lend credits to everyone. It's the school. I've suggested it to the school before. Right now, everyone has a big shortfall and is at the peak of their progress. We can't let everyone stop moving forward just because of the issue of credits. I've even specifically talked to the dean and the others. Right now, the school seems to have this intention. Once the school really gives us credits in advance, everyone can quickly improve their strength. Once their strength increases, do we still have to worry about earning credits? It's already difficult for a rank 1 martial artist to earn 10 credits. At rank 2, what's 30 to 50 credits? Earning 100 credits for a rank 2 martial artist is killing people, but at rank 3, or even upper stage rank 3, it's just a piece of cake. If anyone has any ideas, you can tell me. I'll bring it up with the school. I think there's a lot of hope." "Fong Ping, are you serious?" Yu Xianghua stood up and said with a serious expression, "Can we really borrow in advance?" Fong Ping coughed dryly and said, "We might have to pay a small amount of interest. For example, if we borrow 100 credits in advance, we might have to pay an extra credit every month." "That's nothing." Yu Xianghua did not care at all. Sometimes when everyone wanted to break through, the 100 credits were the only thing they lacked. If they really borrowed in advance and broke through, would 1 credit a month be counted as a credit? Casually doing a simple mission wasn't a big deal. If converted to money, it would only be 30,000. Even Fu Changding and the others were interested. They asked curiously, Fong Ping, is there really such a thing? Yes, that's the school's plan. I'm here to ask for everyone's opinion. This is also for the benefit of all students. That's why I'll get someone to do a survey later. If everyone agrees, then I'll discuss it with the school. You're good. Yang Xiaoman looked surprised. You can even push for a new policy in MCMU now. Not bad. Fong Ping smiled reservedly. We're all classmates. When you guys become stronger, MCMU becomes stronger. It'll be safer for us to do missions together. It's better to have fun together than to have fun alone. Personal strength doesn't mean anything. I feel bad watching some of my classmates who can't cultivate and break through because of the lack of resources. Moreover, as a member of the Ping Yuan Club, I've fought for extra benefits for everyone. Fong Ping glanced at the others and said mysteriously, because our Ping Yuan Club has served everyone well before. The school wants to lend our members a certain amount of credits for free. This is much better than the others. The Ping Yuan Club doesn't recruit from the outside right now. Otherwise, the door would be broken. Also, the distance platform that we're in charge of might have some activities. For example, buy a rank 3 vitality pill and get a normal vitality pill for free. Or buy a C-class weapon and get a defensive dagger for free. Don't tell anyone about this for now. The school has limited resources. Let's buy it secretly. Everyone's eyes lit up. Even Zhang Ziwei, who was not on good terms with Fong Ping, came over and asked, Are you serious? Fong Ping frowned. I'm not talking to you. Don't eavesdrop when you talk to people from our club. Having said that, Fong Ping said to Fu Changding and the others, Let's talk as we walk. This is a benefit that I fought for. Don't let the seniors take advantage of it. Fu Changding and the others followed him eagerly. Fong Ping whispered, I got carried away just now. I shouldn't have said this to the seniors. If they spread it, then we'll have fewer chances. As Fong Ping's voice reached them faintly, Zhang Ziwei and the others looked at each other. After a while, Zhang Ziwei said softly, Keep it a secret. Everyone nodded. The school's resources were limited. If it was really as Fong Ping said, buying a rank 3 vitality pill and getting a normal vitality pill for free would be extra profit. Everyone spent a lot of money, so it was better to save as much as possible. Most of the time, doing missions was at a loss. They had agreed to keep it a secret, but by the time night fell, the news had almost spread throughout the school. Did you hear? There's a buy one get one free exchange for pills on Distance's platform. The price is the same as usual. Really? Why would I lie to you? Remember to keep it a secret. There aren't many things. If someone finds out, they'll be gone immediately. Of course. Did you know? The school allows us to borrow credits in advance. We just have to return them when the time is up. The only problem is that there aren't many credits and they need to be verified. I don't know if we're qualified. There's such a thing. Yeah, I heard it from someone. I heard that Fong Ping's Ping Yuan Club allows you to borrow credits without interest. Why? Someone said unhappily. Why else? I heard that it was Fong Ping who suggested it to the dean. The dean said that it was a good idea. Fong Ping took the opportunity to say that the Ping Yuan Club has contributed a lot to everyone, and that they often give things to everyone. F***CK. If I knew this would happen, I would have given them too. Isn't it just a short distance? It's not a big deal. Now, those people have taken advantage of everything. Oh, right, can we still join the club? I don't think so. What a pity. On this day, the members of the Ping Yuan Club were secretly delighted. Some of the members who did not receive much benefit or profit initially had thoughts of leaving the club. However, now that they knew that the Ping Yuan Club could borrow credits in advance, and for free, they were all beaming with joy. Compared to others, the Ping Yuan Club did not have an advantage. Some of them had not become martial artists yet. However, if they could borrow credits in advance, they might be able to break through very quickly. In the blink of an eye, the Ping Yuan Club became popular. News of the credit borrowing and platform discount also went viral. At the same time, Fong Ping patted Guisheng's shoulder and praised him. Well done. When the club obtains the management rights, you can borrow at least 50 credits in advance. It'll be a waste if you don't use it. Guisheng chuckled and asked curiously, President, this is a good thing. Why do you have to tell others? Fong Ping chuckled. Martial artists should serve the public wholeheartedly. Are those who are selfish and only care about themselves still martial artists? Guisheng, think about it. Don't go down the wrong path. President is wise. Little Fatty's face was full of admiration. The president was indeed the president. He had a high level of awareness. Fong Ping laughed and walked away. Look at what it meant to gain both fame and fortune. Chapter 2:17. After that, Fong Ping went to the building of practical training. When Tang Feng saw Fong Ping, he was speechless. This kid was too much of a troublemaker. How long had he been back? When they came back, Fong Ping had already come up with a loan system. Was MCMU going to commercialize? Although Magic City was known as the business capital, Tang Feng had always thought that MCMU was a school. There was no need to make it too commercialized. In the end, the dean and the others supported Fong Ping's plan. Tang Feng could not object even if he wanted to. After giving Fong Ping a long look, Tang Feng said in a low voice, Everyone knows the results of this assessment. More than half of the people didn't reach the basic points. There's no need to find excuses. As MCMU's elite reserve students, it's a shame to not even reach the basic points. Of course, mistakes are mistakes, and achievements are achievements. This time, everyone surrounded the evil sect martial artists, and the results were good. At least we completed the mission. For those who completed the mission, the school was generous with rewards. The school's rewards are related to the assessment points. Specifically, it's 25% of the assessment points. Instructor, Fong Ping interrupted immediately. That's too little. He had 800 points. Converting would be 200 credits. And it was only enough to offset the consumption of one resurrection pill. He was the one with the highest assessment points this time. Fu Changding and the others had pitifully few. Yang Xiaoman and the others did not even reach the basic points. If they converted, how many credits would they get? A rank 2 vitality pill cost 20 credits. After running around for a few days and killing a bunch of martial artists, it was still not enough to replenish their vitality. Tang Feng said in a low voice, Let me finish. Students who did not reach the basic points will not receive additional rewards. Fine, if they did not reach the basic points, they would just admit defeat. They would not get a single point. All of you must remember that the rewards given by the assessment are actually additional expenses. They are not necessary. In fact, in order to give everyone this opportunity, some of the sacrifices are done without everyone knowing. This includes the encirclement of the evil sect martial artists this time. An MCMU Grandmaster powerhouse rushed to Nanjiang to support it. Of course, dealing with the evil sect is our duty, and it's something we will definitely do. That's why I hope that everyone won't be too utilitarian. Fong Ping said helplessly, Instructor, that's not the point. We know that killing the evil sect martial artists is our duty. It shouldn't be to the extent where he couldn't even replenish his own consumption, right? If that's the case, would we still dare to risk our lives the next time we encounter evil sect martial artists? There was no way for him to replenish his depleted qi and blood. If he was injured, There was no medicinal pill to heal him. We are still students, and we don't have our own sources of income. We rely on these missions to support us. Now, even this is taken away from us. How can we cultivate? Teacher, can't you consider the actual situation? Not everyone's family can afford it. What's more, there were conditions. This kind of mission that required constant effort, and no return would drag everyone down. Zhao Shuamei's family's company had been sold, and Fu Changding's grandfather was cursing, "It's not easy for everyone. The school has to be considerate of us." Tang Feng was a little dazed by Fang Ping's words. He felt that what Fang Ping said made a lot of sense. There was nothing wrong with it. Yes, the students did not hold any official positions. They were not members of the government, not members of the military, and not teachers of the academy. Indeed, they lacked a source of funds. However, this was the school's decision. Fang Ping suddenly kicked Zhao Lei. Zhao Lei's expression darkened. He glared at him and said dryly, "Instructor, it's indeed too little. The key is that we didn't get much this time either. Almost everyone didn't get anything." Tang Feng groaned. Fang Ping continued to kick people. A bunch of idiots. If they did not fight for it now, they were really waiting to starve. Teacher, we didn't complete the mission well this time, but we lack resources. We can't continue cultivating. Teacher, in these few years in MCMU, our family can't make ends meet. If this goes on, we won't even be able to afford healing pills before we go to the catacombs. Teacher, Tang Feng's head hurt from the noise. He shouted, "Everyone be quiet." After saying that, Tang Feng said, "Wait here for a while. I'll be back in a bit." After saying that, Tang Feng left quickly. It was obvious that he was going to consult the school's leaders. Once he left, Fang Ping said impatiently, "You all have money, right? You don't care about this bit of reward? You should also consider the situation of poor students. I'm so poor, and I'm not as lucky as you guys. My grandfather is a grandmaster, and my grandmother is a rank 8. Everyone looked at him. Aren't you embarrassed to say such words? Zhang Ziwei could not be bothered to argue with him. She said mildly, "Fang Ping, I heard that your company and the Ping Yuan Club are in charge of the loan and the pill discounts we talked about earlier." Fang Ping asked lazily, "What's wrong? Do you have a problem with that?" "I have no objections." Zhang Ziwei said coldly, "I just want to tell you that you have exceeded your authority." "Overstepping my authority?" Fang Ping asked in surprise. "What kind of authority do you have?" "Yours?" "You don't have to argue with me about this. Previously, the allocation of resources was mainly handled by the Martial Arts Club. Now that it has shifted to the platform, the Ping Yuan Club is in charge of it. What do you think?" Aside from Fang Ping, everyone present was a member of the Martial Arts Society. They all quietened down upon hearing his words. Fang Ping, on the other hand, did not think much of it. He sneered and said, "If the Martial Arts Society doesn't do it, then they won't allow others to do it? I'm fighting for everyone's welfare. Is there a problem?" The Martial Arts Society's previous benefits were all aimed at the Martial Arts Society's own members, and there were only 200 to 300 of them. What's wrong with me promoting this to the entire school? Then you have to ask the entire school if they agree. Zhang Ziwei said calmly, "I've already said that there's no need to argue with me. I'm just conveying the Martial Arts Society's opinion. Or, Distance's platform can be jointly operated by the Martial Arts Society and the Ping Yuan Club. This is also the biggest concession." What a joke! If it did not involve benefits, Fang Ping did not mind admitting defeat. However, when it came to benefits, benefits meant wealth, wealth meant strength, and strength meant everything. Fang Ping still knew that he could not give in. "Did Xiele ask you to tell me? Then go back and tell Xiele that this is impossible. I, Fang Ping, have laid a solid foundation. The Martial Arts Society wants to pick the fruits of my labor. You have to ask if I, Fang Ping, agree." Needless to say, the teachers would not care about this. It was the same no matter who ran it. Xiaolei probably had the same idea. Tell him, if he wants to pick the fruits of my labor, come at me directly. Although I, Fong Ping, have not achieved peak rank 3, I am not afraid of him. Even if Zhang Yu comes, I will still say the same thing. If I am not rank 4, would Zhang Yu dare to break the rules and cause me trouble? It was not like Fong Ping had never killed a peak rank 3 before. Unless I challenge Zhang Yu, the Martial Arts Society will have to admit defeat. If you don't like it, come find me. Fong Ping, arrogant. Zhang Ziwei let out a soft humph. Although Fong Ping had killed a peak rank 3 martial artist, peak rank 3 did not mean that everyone was the same. The Grand Missionary had yet to master a 3rd-grade ultimate move, and his trump card was not up to par. Xiaolei, however, was different. Xiaolei was now a peak rank 3. Although he had not mastered any ultimate moves, his rank 3 killing moves had been perfected. If they were to fight, the Grand Missionary would be no match for him. Furthermore, the Martial Arts Society had more than one peak rank 3. There was still Qin Fengqing and another peak rank 3 vice president, and they were still in school. In fact, there were currently 5 peak rank 3 members in the Martial Arts Society. Among them, there were close to 10 people on the rank 3 ranking, including peak and upper stage. Did Fong Ping really think he was invincible? Fong Ping sneered. Arrogant? What a joke. I, Fong Ping, have everything I have now because of my brain and my strength. Zhang Ziwei, who do you think you are? Just because Xiaolei is your boyfriend, you think you can look down on me? Looks like you're not happy about losing last time. When you're a rank 3, I'll be waiting for you to challenge me. As for the platform, let the Martial Arts Society convince the school to take it away from me by force if they can. Otherwise, I'll wait for him to come looking for me. Zhang Ziwei let out a humph, but did not argue with him. Fong Ping could not be bothered with her. He looked at the others and said, "Don't get involved in the matters between me and the Martial Arts Society. Otherwise, don't blame me for turning against you." He was going to make money soon. In a year, he could make hundreds of millions. Now, someone was trying to take advantage of him. How could Fong Ping agree? MCMU's platform was only in its infancy. Fong Ping still wanted to build a cross-university or even cross-country, all-network platform. Now that someone was trying to take his territory, it was as good as taking his life. If Xiaolei really came looking for him, Fong Ping had made up his mind to drag him to death. This time, he would not fight him head-on. He would drag him to death. Everyone remained silent. Although everyone was a member of the Martial Arts Society, they were only members. This matter did not have much to do with them. Fong Ping was only a freshman. He was already a middle-stage rank 3 and had killed a peak rank 3 martial artist. Xiaolei, a peak rank 3 martial artist, was very strong. In addition, the Martial Arts Society had a rank for president, due to the school's rules. Unless Fong Ping challenged Zhang Yu, the rank for Zhang Yu could not challenge Fong Ping. However, when Fong Ping entered rank 4, these rules would be gone. If he really entered rank 4, Zhang Yu might not be his match. No one could predict the outcome of this matter. There was no need to get involved. In the midst of the silence, Tang Feng returned. As soon as he returned, Tang Feng said, "The school has decided to give everyone a 50% conversion reward. Students who don't have enough basic points can also get it. However, students who don't have enough basic points must complete 3 rank 2 missions within this month. This is a must. If you don't experience life and death, you won't be able to grow. If you only have resources, you'll only become vitality martial artists. This is not what the school wants." Fong Ping did not care. This had nothing to do with him. However, if he converted 50%, he would earn a lot more, 400 credits. After some thought, Fong Ping asked, "Instructor, how long will the special training class last? Has the time to enter the catacombs been decided?" "It will end at the end of May. After that, Everyone is free to do whatever you want. Go on missions, study, or prepare. It's up to you. You'll also need to adapt to the integration of the small team. The time to enter the catacombs has not been decided yet. In short, we will definitely enter in June. Fong Ping nodded and said, "Then can I advance 300 credits for this month in advance?" Tang Fong frowned. Fong Ping said calmly, "I've said it before. I'm only a few steps away from entering upper stage rank 3. Once I do, things will be different. As for the students in the class, I'll give everyone a chance. You can challenge me. If you win, these credits will be yours, needless to say. To enter the catacombs, strength is the most important thing. Of course, if it's a competition of exams and survival, I'm willing to compete with everyone. I don't think anyone can beat me." Tang Fong looked at the crowd and said in a low voice, "Is there no one willing to challenge me?" Everyone was silent. Fong Ping had killed a peak rank 3 before. Who would challenge him? Since none of you are willing to challenge me, then Fong Ping can advance the credits. Tang Fong said, then said softly, "The strong will always be strong. Remember this. Today, I'll give everyone a chance. You might be able to beat him. Even if it's a one-on-one battle, I'll give you a chance. Now that everyone has given up, don't blame the school for not giving you hope. That's all. Classes will continue tomorrow. Dismissed." Tang Fong left quickly after he finished speaking. Fong Ping, on the other hand, strode outside. With this calculation, he would be able to obtain 700 credits. However, Fong Ping looked at Fu Changbing and the others and sighed. He would be too embarrassed to go back on his word and give them 100 credits. In that case, he could only get 600 credits. Fu Changbing and the others did not think too much. Chen Yunxi whispered, Just now, you and Zhang Ziwei." Fong Ping said as he walked, "I can't be bothered with her. Xie Lei really thinks he's the president. Do you think it's so easy to snatch my stuff? I'm the only one who snatches other people's stuff, not mine. Now that we're about to enter the catacombs, I don't think he'll challenge me now. When I come out of the catacombs and reach upper stage or even peak, I'll kill him if he dares to challenge me." Fong Ping was not too afraid of this. Currently, the possibility of Xie Lei challenging him was very low. Everyone in the special training class was preparing to enter the catacombs. Xie Lei's strength was 2 levels higher than Fong Ping's. If he attacked lightly now, it would cause some adverse effects. If he seriously injured Fong Ping, and something happened to him in the catacombs, Xie Lei would have to bear the blame. People would wonder if he was jealous of Fong Ping's talent and deliberately delayed his progress, causing him to die in the catacombs. The title of Grandmaster was not only based on strength, but also on one's daily actions, including one's character. Xie Lei had deliberately harmed a genius in rank 3 because he was jealous of Fong Ping's talent. Even if he reached rank 7, he might not be able to obtain the title of Grandmaster. It was not that Grandmasters could not do bad things, but at least no one would know or the impact would not be too great. A rank 3 prodigy like Fong Ping was not really a nobody. He had the university's Grandmasters watching him from the back. It was precisely because he knew this that Fong Ping could be unbridled and not worry too much. Yang Xiaoman pursed her lips. "You're quite confident. Xie Lei is not weak. Plus, there's Qin Fengqin." "Qin Fengqin?" Fong Ping sneered. "Unless Qin Fengqin becomes the president, do you think Qin Fengqin will make a move against him? He'd love nothing more than for the Martial Arts Society to suffer some losses." Fong Ping was really not worried about Qin Fengqin. Old Qin was now at odds with Zhang Yu. If he did not defeat Zhang Yu, it meant that he had no chance of becoming the president before he graduated in his senior year. Qin Fengqin was not willing to be someone's underling for 4 years in university. His current goal was to break through rank 4 and defeat Zhang Yu. Qin Fengqin would not interfere with Fong Ping's side. What about Zhang Yu? Wait until I'm confident I can defeat him. Fong Ping did not care. If he was not confident, he would avoid it. The rank for Zhang, you would not be able to cause trouble for him. Once he was confident, there was only one word: fight. Who was afraid of who? At this moment, Fu Changding suddenly said, "Distance is yours." "Nonsense. Can't you tell?" Fong Ping did not hide it. At this point, even an idiot would know that distance platform had something to do with Fong Ping. Fu Changding mocked. "I say, you're so hardworking. I thought the other party gave you some benefits. You're the one who started the relationship." Zhao Lei said coldly, "So, actually we're all working for him." Fong Ping sneered. "What did you do? You didn't do anything. All you did was take the benefits. What's with all the nonsense? If you're so capable, quit the club now. There'll be a few spots left for me to recruit." Zhao Lei huffed. "I'm not quitting." The free credits were about to be transferred. Why would he quit? Fong Ping could do the math, but did he think others could not? Then cut the nonsense. After saying that, Fong Ping looked at them and said, "Why are you following me? I'm going to collect my credits." "What are you doing?" "We're collecting credits too." "You're so weird. With your measly credits, is it necessary for you to go there? Distance platform can collect too. We'd love to." You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.